Yeah. It's 11 o'clock
Depends.
somewhere.
Zavardo.
In the world. All right. Let's go. And here we go. Smudcast number 301. Good afternoon, folks. This is Nothing Wrong with Teaching Kids to be Anti-Racist. Now, that sentence alone sounds pretty bad, but this is a title of a video by the YouTuber Veridis Joe. We did Veridis Joe a few months back. Yeah, he's not the greatest speaker of things. He does have good video content. He does do excellent editing and all that good stuff. He talks quickly, which I'm not always a fan of. But he is definitely of a leftist mindset, and he likes racism or anti-racism or whatever you call it these days. I lose the track. I lose the understanding.
Racism. It's just racism.
Yeah.
Just because you put an anti before your racism doesn't make it not racism.
If you
just
throw...
because you put anti before your fascism doesn't make it not fascism.
If you throw around the N-word for fun, maybe if you're a black guy and that's just how you colloquially talk to everyone and all your friends, that's great. If you do it in public, not a good look. Not a really good look. And then when you get offended when other people say it, or white guys say it, or non-black people say it, then I have a problem with you, because then you're implying that there's a holy word that only a certain people of a certain skin type can use, and they can't be racist. But as soon as someone else does, they're the racists, which is, I find offensive. Anyway, this is a 202,000 viewed video, came out this year in February.
Wow.
So pretty popular. Got 23K likes and only 443 dislikes. So there's obviously some people watching his videos and downvoting them. I guess less than 1,000 downvotes is not a big deal. So
Sounds like an insular echo chamber guy.
I think so. I think this is everyone. Oh, it's the black guy who's espousing SJW ideology in his own quick-witted way, and he does good cuts. Like, that's the thing, he does very good cuts in his videos, which I always say positive about YouTubers. Their videos are well put together, so at least they have that. They have the skills to make media that doesn't put me to sleep with their crazy ideologies, unless they talk really slowly.
So we are watching well-made propaganda, not just shit propaganda like Renegade Cut.
Well, yes. Well, good for the eyes, but the ears and the brain, not so much. So you will appreciate the edits.
Brains never.
Yeah, sadly. So
When people want to sell me racism as not racism, then yeah, that's never good for the brain. It's just this is gaslighting by definition.
And it's done by an angry black guy. I assume he's black, because if he uses the N-word that much, that's just how it goes.
The whole mindset
I think like he had like a segment in the video where like he was joking about like a kid is talking on a television show, and then he was saying like, "Oh, this guy looks familiar."
Yeah, it's apparently it's him.
It's probably him.
Yeah, probably. Yes. We're not. I wouldn't put it past him. He's a very outspoken guy. So we've done him before. Not a big deal. Kind of silly that we're covering these old silly cartoons again that are just garbage. They're not that entertaining.
What's with Steven Universe?
I don't.
Why do people like it so much?
I don't know.
I find like I can like see like some of like the beginning of it. Like that's like something that people can like, but where it ended up is just fucking crazy. Or like the more things you know about like the creator and her intentions, it's off-putting to say the least.
Eric's here. Hey, how's it going?
Hello.
Well, that's great, Eric.
How's your mic there?
Hello?
Jelly beans?
Sorry, I didn't see if you guys called or not.
Oh.
I was literally checking my phone. I was like, oh, you guys are already in the call.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are you guys talking about?
Oh, just racism and jelly beans, I guess.
Racism, yeah, the usual stuff.
Jelly bean.
Yeah, I know. I wish we were talking about jelly beans more, but yeah.
We got to talk about, what's this guy's name? Joe or something?
Yeah, Veridis Joe, I guess.
Joey Jojo.
Yeah.
We're talking about the equivalent to a black Aryan.
A black Aryan propagandist. Yeah, it's something like that.
The albino black man?
Ooh, that's cool.
Now,
Albino
I don't know how to put this,
cool.
but these types of black people are they essentially think like Nazis. They want communism or socialism to some degree, and they are highly nationalistic about their race.
It's funny. I was talking to someone on Facebook about the crash of 2007 and 8, and they were saying, "Oh, socialism brought people out of this and that," or "We bailed out the banks." It's like, no. What are you talking about? This was caused by the government. This was caused by the Federal Reserve and a bunch of other government programs, which created this crazy bubble. And now you think socialism is the cure? Really? Like this?
Yeah.
Oh wow! That is ass backwards.
That is hilarious.
If you look into the origins of the Federal Reserve and John Maynard Keynes, you will find a lot of socialism there.
Well, that's the
it's
origins.
Scary. It's scary.
This is like Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac and all the various other subprime mortgage loans that banks were issuing, which has nothing to do with capitalism or the free market. Oh, it was unregulated. It's like, no.
When you bail out the banks, they're basically the state and the banks are merged.
Right.
And what do we call that?
Well, crony capitalism.
Racism.
There's so many terms for describing what like zombie banks are and various other institutions that are funded by the government, whether it's a subsidy or it's a grant or it's some giant program from the legislature. Like there's all kinds of terms we use. The most common one I think is corporatism, but it's such a big topic. If you guys want to read about it, I recommend a book called Meltdown by Thomas Woods. This was, I think, written in 2007, like during the crash, or 2008. So it gives you an analysis of all the government programs from the 90s on, as well as the Federal Reserve and all these other things of why and how this bubble came about. If you're interested in that sort of thing. I just got into it because I got a free ebook and I was like, oh, it's cool, free. And I picked it up and I read it. It's like, it makes perfect sense. So none of this nonsense with free market capitalism causing a bubble. That's retarded. That
was not free market capitalism. That was just bullshit.
Hey,
we burned all the fake fiat money of some people. Give us tax money now.
Yeah.
What? Fuck you.
So
burned in the piles of money you burned.
Yeah, there has been, I can't remember the dates, but this was in America. There was a market crash of like 1912 or 1906 or something like that. And that was a natural thing. And it corrected itself within 2 weeks. It was amazing. Like, it's a simple thing. Like, this happens once in a while. And there was no government intervention. Nothing happened. And everyone was fine the month later. It was so funny. And no one talks about it because no one knows about it. It's not news. It's not a big deal. But it did happen. So I would have to do another Google search to find that out. But this is not the topic we should be talking about anyway. We just went
More
off.
interesting than this video.
Oh yeah, I mean, talking about monetary policy is not the most exciting thing in the world, but it definitely does explain things of why the world is the way it is, why we're expecting another downturn at the end of this year, and all sorts of other fun stuff happening in your life of investments. If you're ever wanting to put your money somewhere and you're thinking, hey, I'm going to be around here for another 50 years. What am I going to do with my money? And boom. You should probably think of not spending so much today and probably spending some later or investing today. Anyway, different topic, different conversation. We'll have that later. Let's get to the super chats and then we'll get started. All right. Mike Testa, good afternoon, folks. Why are we still here? Justice suffer. Will it end? Yes, it will end. We will stop the video.
One day it will end.
The video will end.
One day we're all dead and the universe dies of heat.
That reminds me.
That's a bit
Did
extreme.
you give everyone the N-word warning?
No.
Just in case.
I
You're
said.
Gonna be saying a lot.
Oh yeah. I said that regards to Veridis Joe because I think he's black and he says the N-word in general. But
I have an N-word pass because we have a candy called whatever. He's gonna say it.
The candy.
I think I got two N-word
just in case you got sensitive
point.
ears, too bad.
Yeah, it is the N-word. I'm not offended by words. It's really not a big deal, especially when someone else quotes it or uses it so I can quote them. he's like, well, you said the N-word. It's like, no, I didn't. That was someone else. I just quoted him.
It's such an Orwellian like terror, and like you have to be scared of words.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Grow the fuck up.
It's just a word, but I can't say it.
It's just like,
because
why even use that at all then? If the word of offense you.
Yeah, I know, but that's the thing.
Can't do that.
It's like
Shoot her or something.
It's one of those things, and this is becoming an issue in Canada, where there's certain words you can say and you can't say. You have to say. You're compelled to say. It's this bizarre law we have going on with was it C10 or B10? I can't remember the name.
C16.
It was C16. That got passed a few years back, and you're like, oh no, what the hell?
Isn't there like a news article where they deemed like Canada as a slur?
to say anything. And yes, that's what it's about. It was what it was always about. It's to get a foot in the door and then slice by slice make everything worse and then say, oh, it's always been like this. So then suddenly the necessary change turns into a tradition to be conserved by the radical left. Wonderful. That's how you get tyranny, despotism, and all this other censorship and all your wonderful little tyrannical bullshit things, and your free society dies from the inside.
Luckily, we have Veridis Joe to tell us that it's all good. All the PSAs and cartoons are good, especially when they talk about whatever the hell is the content of Steven Universe. I don't even know. I don't watch that.
I tried to watch some of the PSAs. I watched maybe 3. I couldn't watch another one. I was gonna bang my head against the wall. They were just talking about like anti-racism and how to use social media for kids or whatever.
I remember
kind of dumb.
Some of the PSAs back in the 80s, like with G.I. Joe and She-Ra and all. It's like they were kind of lame, but they weren't a big deal. It's like, yeah, whatever. Don't start fires, or don't tease people. Don't pick on your brother. It's like, okay, it's fine.
Don't do drugs.
It's stuff.
Yeah, but yeah, at least those kind of properties. At least they did it with the simple shit.
I know, but even in the 90s,
just don't be an asshole.
In the 90s,
that's the message.
It was Sailor Moon, like the sailor says, because it was in North America, everyone had to do that. The rules were still there. You're like, okay, this is kind of awkward, but I guess it's all right. And it was basic stuff like don't go into vans, don't do anything without supervision, all basic things. So things your parents teach you anyway, and it gets repeated, which is fine. It's like, yeah, makes sense. It's cool. So who knows what the heck Steven Universe is saying? I don't care. I'm not a kid anymore. I don't watch these things. Anyway, let's get going.
Universe tells kids to be racist and to be gay and to
be really obsessed with your race.
Yeah.
Yes.
Here's the Mechanist. I picked a bad day to quite buff out. All right.
To quite buff
out. It's always a bad day to quite buff out. You want to watch that
it's
buff
never
out.
Bad to be buff.
But buffing out, that's bad.
I never used buff out for Fallout.
I avoid all drugs. Unless it's Jet. That's awesome. Here's Francis Ford Coppola.
Oh, Jet, yeah.
There's also one of those Steven Universe PSAs where the "Don't be racist" message ends with a director yelling "cut" for a scene, implying it's all a trick and you should be racist. I think we covered that. Did we? There was like 2 or 3 of them we did.
Yes.
Really quickly.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think I vaguely remember that.
It was like a minute long or whatever, and it was just dumb as hell. Here's another Francis Ford Coppola. Fun fact, several people who would have had the power to oppose the Federal Reserve died on the Titanic. Makes you think, holy shit, I did not know that.
Oh yeah.
That's creepy.
I forgot the name, sadly. I'm bad with names. The boss of the Deutsche Bank, which isn't the German state bank, but the big one. You've heard of the Deutsche Bank. In the 80s, was allegedly killed by the Red Army faction in a terrorist attack by blowing up his car, which is not the modus operandi of the Red Army faction. Thing is, they attributed the thing to themselves for clout, I suppose, similar to ISIS yelling, "Oh, it was our people, we did it," before anyone even knows what's up. And said boss of the Deutsche Bank back in the day, wanted better regulations on the banks because he thought, capitalism shouldn't eat people. All of his board was against that. And then his car blew up with him inside. Makes you wonder whether that was the leftists who wanted to fight rabid capitalism, whether they wanted to blow up that guy who wanted more regulation, or whether that was just the board wanting to get rid of the one guy in their way. I don't know. But history says it was the Red Army faction. I'm not so sure about that. Doesn't really.
The Titanic was an inside job.
Yeah, who knows?
Oh,
there was a lot of
maybe like that character from the
on
Titanic movie
as well.
was really just a time traveler to kill all the bankers.
Yeah, but then he killed
Makes
the
sense to
wrong
me.
bankers.
Oh.
Maybe that was his mission.
I don't know.
Anyway,
In case of the Titanic, that thing would probably have been a bit more of a direct hit
yeah, I
if
think
that
so.
was deliberate.
Anyway, here's our last one for Evergents. Thank you. Nice cars, guys. Nice cars. Okay. Capital cars.
Thanks.
Thank you. We talking about cars?
The JoJo character.
Oh. Yeah, I know that. That's what threw my head, but I was like, that was a...
I honestly don't know the content.
Yeah, I don't know what he's talking about. Different
Nice cars.
different cartoon. Different cartoon we're talking about.
Gary Newman's cars? What? What cars?
I don't know. Here's one more from Mike Testa, then we'll get started. 2021 G.I. Joe, don't tease your bro. He will join Cobra. Oh my god. Was that one of them? I can't remember. Holy crap.
Oh,
That'd be frightening.
that's that show still on?
He's going to run away from home and join Cobra. Like, holy crap. How does he do that?
That'd be some shit.
All right.
I want to do that. Anyway, let's get going.
Hey guys, Edgy Nigga Buttsex 42 here, and did you guys hear? The most recent Steven Universe public service announcement just got released, and it's so cringe, absolute woke force garbage. They're feeding kids this propaganda about acceptance and equality, like they've been for decades. In any case, allow me to cross my arms.
I know you want to make an ironic joke,
Yes.
but
There was a joke here? What?
Yeah.
he's
a joke.
Are we watching the same video?
He's trying to say the inverse of what he believes is true and what he thinks the other side is saying.
Nice.
And I'm sorry, but the other side is correct. That PSA you have on in the background here, behind the anime character, is teaching kids to see race, to see skin color before character.
Yes. And I'm
That's the
it's
opposite
annoying.
of what Martin Luther King Jr. said in his speech. You
Yes.
cannot agree with MLK Jr. and Malcolm X at the same time. That doesn't work. At least from what I know about the two. At least if you want to be on MLK's side, you can't be for this. You need to have your brain broken.
That would imply they read both, but I doubt they even read any. So
Read? Everybody, even in fucking Europe, everybody at some point has heard this little snippet of I have a dream that people will be judged by their character and not the color of their skin. Everybody's had heard that at some point. And that is
I
the
haven't.
core message. And how can you be for the opposite and still think you are in support of Martin Luther King Jr.? Like this is what pissed me so off about Falcon and the Winter Soldier, because even that guy managed to double think that. Invoke Martin Luther King Jr. and at the same time complain about the racist white people. Like you're generalizing a whole race instead of judging individuals.
Yeah.
Fuck off. You are
Yeah.
no better than the fucking Nazis. In regards to race, you're no better than the fucking Nazis. End of line.
And it's just annoying because it's like, what kid is naturally racist from the beginning of time?
No one.
We could argue that
Exactly.
It's only once you like call attention to it.
it really
It's
depends
kinda
on
like, but
the growth, where they're raised and how they're raised. And if you're in a multicultural society, like most people are, even if it's not as multicultural as bigger cities, you come across random people that are different looking than you are, even within your own community. So it's going to happen eventually. Hey, this guy has darker skin. This guy has longer hair. This guy is taller. This guy is shorter. Whatever. You're going to notice differences.
Yeah.
You're going to get along. You're going to go to classrooms. You're going to work together. You're going to fight together. You're going to do everything together. It's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
It's totally natural.
Yep.
It's called
Yeah.
humanity.
I can tell you about my kindergarten group back in the day.
No.
That had my kindergarten
Before
group.
World
Yeah,
War
my
II, yes.
kindergarten group. We had a black kid. We had a Vietnamese girl. We had twins that weren't real twins. Like the parents had apparently fun dressing them in twin clothes,
Oh, yeah.
despite them not being actual twins.
Parents do that.
We had a girl with a giant liver spot on her neck.
Yeah.
I had a lisp like hell.
Okay.
And that was just everyone. Everyone had a trait,
Yeah, pretty much.
and you didn't give a shit about it until either someone calls attention to it, like the first kid that figures out let's tease someone, and some jump onto that, others don't. And then there's a certain age where you begin wondering, oh, what's that? You're the one in the group with this one trait, or you're the one with the you have a very flat nose. Why is that? Everyone else has the average the average in the room type nose. Huh. Then you talk about it for 5 seconds and then it's gone. The topic
Yes.
over. And then we continue to play mailman or house or with the wooden blocks or who knows what.
Yeah.
And that's all. Or play catch or whatever.
Yeah, it's this thing where they keep projecting their own issues onto the kids. It's really getting annoying.
All right.
Yeah, kids wonder about this maybe for a second, but they see, I play with this. I've played with this kid before. I continue to play with this kid because it's a nice kid. It's my friend, and not this is my black friend kid.
Yeah.
This is my girl, Vietnamese girl friend kid because she looks Asian.
Yeah.
No, kids don't think like that.
They want to have fun and they want candy and whatever else is fun.
Yes.
Candy and fun. That was my mindset when I was a kid, but that was about it.
And all the kids look different anyway, even when they're all of the same ethnicity. And then you have the ones who are a bit more out of the box, out of the ordinary. But that doesn't
Out of the ordinary, yeah.
All right.
But that doesn't concern the kids because it's just so what?
We've got a bunch of we got 2 donations happening at the same time. That was interesting. So now the alert just happens. I gotta talk through Garrus dancing. Here is Mike Testa first, though. Joe trying to hide the fact that it's all lies, tisk. I don't think he's lying. I think he actually believes this stuff, and he doesn't know better. But that's fine. You can believe whatever you like. It's when you rationalize it and think it through, you say, wait a second, is this really necessary in our today? We need these TV shows that a very select few of the population would ever watch or have access to teach something.
Well, there are.
It's strange.
There are some. Back in the day, we called them opportunists. Now they call them grifters, or that's an English term that is more specific. That you graft an opinion onto your public image, but you don't actually mean it. In Germany, we call that a flag in the wind. Like whatever profits someone in some way, that person will adopt that mindset. And there have been a couple of these YouTubers, breadtubers, that were changing from conservative to breadtube and back and forth. Those are flag in the wind types.
That sounds ridiculous.
And they don't really have a real opinion.
You're talking about Quentin?
They're just chasing an audience to make
You have
money.
got to be some sort of moron or lame brain to just go, hey, you know what's cool today? Politics. I'm going to talk. I don't know a damn thing. I like, and they just jump until it's feels right to them. That's ridiculous.
No, it's not about whether it feels right to them. It's just about, what does the majority of people that might give me money want to hear?
I don't think it's that. Well, it could be that simple. That's definitely grifting, but I don't think they have the.
They're not necessarily smart enough to know what that actually is that makes the most money. But they're trying. They're trying hard.
I don't think they're intelligent enough to understand the principles behind what they're saying, and they just sort of fall in line with.
At least Joe.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, if you want to sacrifice hours upon hours, look up the saga of Hunter Avalon, because that guy really went back and forth and back and forth. And he has nothing between his ears.
Okay, well, in my off hours, if ever I want to study people online that change their opinions like crazy, I might check it out. Other than that, I got other stuff to do.
You did watch Vosh.
Vosh was for technical reasons as a result of him critiquing LitDev and saying crazy shit. And I mean, Vosh is
he's a special kind.
He's a very
because he
special.
does that within the second just to look as if he's dunking on you.
He is the strangest. I've never seen a crazier bread tuber. Is that what they're called? So it's too weird. Like it's an anomaly. It's like, what is this crazy person? Like other people, like Xander Hall are just kids. They're just young kids. They don't know any better. Like, all right, fine. But other than that,
kids.
He's like 21. He's a kid.
Yeah, he's 21. Like there was a oh god, I think it was Young Ripper who. Oh god, because Xander Hall tried to like cover young Rippers, like some kind of video about like BLM and racism, and like why he isn't like following that. And then like Xander Hall was like, well, yeah, guys, but I had like such a long journey as like a left-wing politics advocate, and like he was like, what, dude, you're just like 21. What kind of long journey are you talking about?
You've not even started to think yet. Your prefrontal cortex is barely at an operable level.
You can just barely legally like drink alcohol in the US. Like what the hell?
What?
Well, and I thought it was funny because he thought Young Rippa's points weren't relevant because he's never went to jail.
Yes.
I was just like,
because
wow.
You mean because he's a good man?
Like he called him a race traitor because he's black and he's not going with the mainstream.
He responded to that video and he said he did go to jail. So it was just a weird stereotype.
Yeah,
apparently, that's what he said.
Even the not assessment. The I don't know the word right now. To say that, you're not a real black man because you haven't been to jail because you're not a criminal. What the fuck? What the fuck?
Yeah, it's just weird. Like I don't know. I guess
if you think all black people have had to be to jail in order to understand how it is to be a black person, you are also insisting that you're only a real black person if you are a criminal who has done something justifiable of prison.
Like
dude,
George Floyd.
Who's the racist here again?
Yeah, no, it reminds me of like that show Fresh Prince of Bel-Air where they call this guy a sellout because he comes from wealth. He doesn't know what it's like to be black, and it's just absurd.
Go to fucking Africa and learn what it is like to be black. That's where you learn that. That's where you learn the real black. Not this US urban bullshit with government handouts. No! Go to the fucking desert. Run away from the other black and the Muslim slave traders that hunt you.
Oh god.
Because that's still going on.
Okay.
That never stopped.
Let's keep going here. Here's Francis Bordacopola. Thanks for the donation. While we're talking about school good experiences, or good school experiences, there was a girl who was the last person to get braces in her classes in high school. Everyone called her Shreds. 3 of my friends dated her, and none of them were circumcised till after they dated her. What?
Wow.
The hell are you talking about?
Get it? No, get it? You get it? The shredder?
Yes, I get it, but that's
That's a stretch.
that is just come on, dude.
That is a major stretch if it's supposed to be like
all right.
shredder.
If you ever look for like
true.
inspiration for a book, now you're getting them.
Here's Cal Rocket. These kids don't know how to think logically, guys. They only know how to make fake solutions for real problems. I can say with full confidence that when we were all kids, the only races we were allowed to hate were ones we ran and didn't win. Good stuff.
Nice.
Here's 2 more. And guys, the donations keep coming. I'm glad you're using it, but that's a lot of dancing Garruses. Here's Kyle Rocket again. Back in our day, not being racist was common sense due to us being kids and not even knowing what the F racism even was. That's a good point. You're just a kid. You don't know anything about the world yet. You're having fun. You're learning how to get along with kids, matching colors and patterns and doing math, maybe learning a language. That's about it. Running around, having fun at recess, getting your shins kicked in or falling down.
Forming a gang. Beating up the little kid.
Yeah. Build a treehouse in the forest by the abandoned Soviet base.
Okay. Here's Francis Ford Coppola again. If a communist says, I used to be in the alt-right, now I'm a far-left communist, anarcho, pee-pee, poo-poo person, they were either A, never in the alt-right, 2, fooled into thinking milquetoast conservatism is extreme right-wing, or D, secretly still that way. How do we go from A to 2 to D? I don't know.
This isn't my
I can't see that thing on the screen. I can't help you.
Oh, or discreetly that way. Sorry, oh, geez. A or 2 where I got lost and I went to D. So discreetly that way. Instead of secretly, discreetly that way. All right. Mike, no, stop. I'm almost done. Real smooth Xander Hall, the mouth of that kid Tisk. Again, we were not impressed with Xander Hall. He didn't have much to say. He didn't have anything to say, unfortunately. Which is not the sign of a good thinker. You need something. You need an opinion. You need a stance. Stand by it. Anyway.
Think.
Let's keep going.
No, you're right. They have the conclusions already. They have they do not need to think. And this is what, in my experience, equates all of this to cult think or a religion. Because a religion already has all the answers. At least the dogmatic ones. And not the ones with mysticism or the mystical branches. They're still about thinking for yourself to a degree. And figuring out yourself and self-reflection and growth in that way. But the dogmatic branches, they already have all the answers. And that means that you do not need to think. You just need to accept the answers that are set out for you. You just need to see the world through this special ideological lens that is the religious lens. And the political or even economic lenses, in some senses, function exactly the same way. They say the world works exactly like this. Don't look at the other schools of thought. Just look at mine. No need to think. And people like that. Lots of people like that because they're scared of free thinking. Because thinking is pain. For the brain, thinking is pain. It's your pain center lights up when you start thinking. This is why you get a headache from too much mental work. Because mental work, there's a reason for this. Mental work is very straining. It uses up the most energy in your body. So the pain you feel when you think, which starts very subtle, of course, is there as a safety circuit to tell you, hey, take a break, stop, don't expend energy. We still need to go out and forage for berries or hunt deer or something. And if you now burn everything up with your thinking, we can't do that anymore. So stop, or at least don't do too much of it. And some people are so afraid of this pain that they do everything to avoid it. Cognitive dissonance has a lot of this thinking pain because it requires you to update your worldview, your world model rather. and because there comes a reality check, and that reality check basically tells you, oh, there's something wrong in your world model. And then you have the decision between update world model or reject reality check. And when that's just a random occurrence, maybe that's just a measurement error or something. So it's even safe to dismiss it the first time if it's not too hard of a brick in your face. But if it happens a second, a third time, maybe you should rethink and accept the reality check and put in the effort to think your world model through, update it, maybe reflect on it. Because not every update is a good update. A bad update can be accepting an ideology that is bullshit. But updating your world model is always a lot of pain, and the more it is threatened, because it is a very ideological world model you have at some point, then reality checks can shake it at its very core. And rebuilding that whole thing from the ground up, that is something people avoid like hell. That's why the deeper someone's indoctrinated into something, the harder that it is to get them out again. And the harder the brick in the face has to be. Some people don't survive that brick in the face. They because they have to realize, oh, the last 10 years of my life, I believed in utter crap and used that utter crap to justify atrocious deeds to people. Some of those people I cared about, but I hurt them because of this bullshit I believed, and they can't live with that. So when they put before this cognitive dissonance moment, they either accept the reality of that and grow, which is an extremely painful process, or they accept the reality check and the reality of it is too much to bear and they commit suicide. That does happen.
Okay. Wow.
Or they simply reject the reality check still and just double down into the ideology because the other two options are too painful. That's right. What happens. That's what happens with these cult indoctrinations.
Anyway,
probably not as bad with economical beliefs, but
let's get on.
These ones.
Let's get on with the video. I think we meandered a bit too long there.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you just how much I hate it. Do you think that was like too on the nose or like?
Yes.
Yeah, I went too crazy.
No, you're just lying.
You don't care.
You went too crazy.
One of those quickies no one ever asked me for, but I make anyways. Stay tuned for a bunch of other stuff right now, but we're gonna talk about my new favorite thing ever: PSAs, and why some people have a problem with certain ones when they shouldn't. So
they're all lame and boring and stupid. Some of them are made to be funny, but that's the point. So other than that, no.
I found them cringy when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Like I found the singing in Disney movies cringe. I couldn't stand it. I just wanted the movies to continue with the plot. Stop singing, because singing usually involved repeating the same lines over and over again. Can we please move on with the story?
I don't know if you had the Sailor Says moments in Sailor Moon in the 90s in Germany. But
they copied some of those. They copied, I think, in the first season into German.
Yeah, first season for sure.
Thankfully, I was too young for that.
I hated those. Sonic had those too.
They were out of place. They just felt like, why is Serena talking about drugs? Where did this happen?
Yeah, and I hate. Yeah, that's why I despise them.
Well, I was going to ask, do PSAs actually really help?
No.
Don't think so.
I mean, I know people that still went into drugs.
The only reason they exist is because a lot of parents were like complaining to these TV companies that like, well, my kid is like watching all this trash. Can you like compensate with like something? And this was their solution, that like they gonna fill it with like something that is supposedly gonna help the child not see something that is
it's like
real world and useful.
Kid. I mean,
yes, but like the other thing is that like a lot of kids like hear about drugs and other shit like from this for the first time. So this is like their introduction. So it's like the double-edged sword, if you will.
Yeah, and the proper introduction to that is to just incorporate it in a story where the villain uses something that just backfires completely. Like, oh, here's a medication that helps me be stronger or think better, and then he overdoes it or needs more. And you play the exact thing through, that how it would really work with an addict, and that in the end ruins the villain before the heroes really can even have even opportunity to save the day, because the villain already knocked himself out. Well, not much for us to do here. Let's save the princess or something.
Bane in the Batman animated series.
Yes, exactly. I was about to say that.
He exists to be a walking subconscious PSA. You don't need to say anything. It's like, he's taking drugs. We get it. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, that's why I never took drugs. All thanks to Batman.
I don't want to be a Mexican.
I remember there was this whole cartoon movie with all the I think it was even McDonald's sponsored, with all cartoon characters from the 80s and 90s, with the turtles,
Cartoon All-Stars.
Yes,
and everything. Oh, God. And my mom bought that, and so I watched it because it's a cartoon and there's some characters I know and I watched this thing and I didn't even understand anything that was going on, because the plot made no sense, not to an 8-year-old, or at least not to the 8-year-old me. I didn't know what was going on, and it all looked sicklish and I
my
rewatched
favorite
it,
was like
later.
Pee-wee Herman saying that don't smoke crack.
I have no bloody idea what even was going on in that thing. I watched it a couple of years later again, and then I got, this is about drugs. Okay.
All right. Let's
What a
keep going.
shitty
Imagine
cartoon.
Daffy
It
Duck
took that
talking
long
about
to
crack.
put the dots together.
Yeah. Ooh. Here's Mike
Yes.
Testa. Sonic says created Red Sonic, the best YTP anti-PSA.
The best YouTube poop anti-PSA.
Oh.
Yes. There's like a catalog of that shit. Like that's where I got introduced to this whole Sonic says thing. Because but it's gotta be covered in this video. So
Okay, great.
let's start.
Okay.
The hour of that is I hated these PSAs, whether it was Sailor Moon or Sonic or anything else, because it was out of character. It was breaking the fourth wall. That's why I hated it. I didn't care what he said.
And I love that Joe's gonna somehow. Oh, it's always been around. It's good.
Yeah. I've never heard anyone say PSAs are good for you, but this is Joe. So anyway, here's 2 more donations from Francis Bard Coppola again. People with edgy anime school girl avatars either have the worst opinions or the most milquetoast opinions delivered in the most obnoxious attitudes. I don't know. I don't know anything about it.
Is that a personal attack or something?
I have no idea. I don't know anything with YouTube or anime girl avatars. I'm sure they're out there. I think we have a few actually on chat. They're pretty cool. But that's because our chat is cool. But that's just our chat, not the rest of the internet. Here is Tyler Preston. So this is a statement Xanderhal made about Ying Ripa. Black conservatives are advocating against their own best interests. Also, kids are way more interested in watching action shows like Kamen Rider than some Cal Arts propaganda. Okay. I like ideas of watching imported animation just because it's always cool and unique and different, depending where it comes from. Some styles in France and in Africa, there's all kinds of cool things I've never heard of, never seen, and that's why I want to check it out. So stuff from Japan is like, another anime. Is it mainstream? Probably. You have to find the weird stuff that you've never heard of or seen before, and very few people are talking about.
And of course, black conservatives are acting against their own interests, because it's of course in their interest to burn down small black businesses in their neighborhoods, loot them, and murder and rape your fellow black neighbor. That is certainly in your best interest, because that's what the radical left is advocating for and excusing for all the time.
Okay, this one I got to read because I have no idea what this is. Everjance. Speaking of drugs, anyone remember Snowflame, the supervillain that got his powers from cocaine?
Never heard of that.
Oh, damn it.
I heard of him.
I have, and I can never unsee him whenever he's mentioned.
Is that a Marvel character?
I can't remember if it's Marvel or DC, but I know the basics of who he is.
Oh my god.
So wait, does he sniff the cocaine like Scarface?
At the very least, he's powered by it. So
Just you know.
What an awesome character. I'm so evil. I'm going to do drugs right now. And then I get stronger. I guess
I need the cocaine.
I need the cocaine. Give it to me. I will break your legs. Oh god. Joe Crazy. Can't believe I share a name with this dude. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's how it goes, Joe.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Here's Mike Testa. Okay. When WEN someone number one you don't like touches you, that's good. Mike, what the hell are you saying?
Okay.
He's trying to quote Sonic, but he fucking fails at it. Embarrassing, Mike.
Is that a Sonic quote?
I'm gonna store it for you, man.
Okay.
It's gonna come soon.
We gotta watch those.
Let's just start the video.
All right. One more from Dickelson. Hey, I remember being so confused watching Disney videotapes advertising Muppet Treasure Island, then getting an advert about how pirate movies are illegal. You mean pirated movies?
Yes.
Or pirate movies?
Yeah.
Okay, because there are some pirate movies that are probably illegal. Or at least adult themed. Anyway.
I think what he meant is that,
there she blows.
He got the advert for the pirate movie that was themed after pirates, and then pirating movie is bad. Yes,
I think so too. One. Okay, good. We're done. Let's go.
Yeah.
80s.
So PSAs, public service announcements. These were popularized in the 80s amongst children's content because parents...
They were not popularized. I'm sorry. No one popularizes a PSA. It became a trend that people demanded because their kids were watching stuff, but didn't become popular.
Pity parents that were too dumb to parent their own children and teach them anything useful, and who complained that, oh, my kid sits in front of the TV all day. It's because at first that's your fault, and all the cartoons are not doing anything.
It's like you're the one putting them in front of it in the first place.
Yeah,
I bought this TV, and all he does is just watch it.
There's hilarious GI. I don't know if you guys have watched the. I can't remember which website did this, but they took the G.I. Joe PSAs and they just made fun of them so funny.
Yes, they were so good.
They're amazing. If you guys have never seen...
Bear showed me some of them.
Jamaican
I think they broke my brain.
They are amazing. They are so good. And they were made like a decade ago, at least?
Even more.
Wow.
God, they are ancient.
They are amazing. Like, they're so good.
They actually save lives, right?
They are so funny. Like some stupid thing about some guy. There's like a down power wire. He has like this giant cable rod that you could, like, with a clamp at the end. You could just pick up. It's specifically designed to pick up electric cables. You're like, what the hell is this? Some guy in the army with this giant rod running around looking for cables. Listen, kids, blah, blah, blah. It's like, this is dumb. And they turn it into like, who wants a body massage? Body massage. The dumbest thing. Body massage. Dumb, so stupid. Anyway, that's what you get when you have stupid things. You put them together. They're great. So, anyway.
Anyway, the real PSAs, that is parents complaining that there's nothing worthwhile in the cartoons that the parents never watched in the first place, because some of them have at least some ham-fisted message. And wanted the kids to be taught something useful, but didn't want to do the job themselves.
But isn't that what they go to school for?
Nope.
What the fuck?
Right.
That's even worse.
I don't want to parent my kids. I want the state to do that. How dare the state indoctrinate my children? Like, dude, come.
Why did you have kids then?
It's one or the other. You can't complain that the state indoctrinates their children and not want to parent your kids yourself. Like, dude.
Yeah, it's just retarded. I don't know.
All right, let's go.
had a problem with kids watching that good old brain rotten television without learning anything from it and not like just teaching their kids themselves like a parent would. Before the idea
we agree on something.
Media kind of just existed, and then old niggas complained about it like they do with everything.
Whoa,
and in order to stop the influx of calls that the networks were getting, they implemented
What did you
PSAs
just say about Mein Kampf?
This is such a great opening to the movie on G.I. Joe. This was like seeing this in theaters was so cool as a kid. You're like, whoa, this is amazing.
Yeah, I'm a bit
Looks really
overwhelmed.
cool.
I couldn't hear what he was saying because I was so overwhelmed by how much hand-drawn stuff is going on.
Yeah, I know. It's amazing. It's awesome.
Sensory overload!
It's great.
It's just...
the end of each
You must have
episode.
loved
These
the
were
G.I. Joe
actually a
movies,
great
huh?
way for kids to learn
Yes.
things and a parent or
Yes.
guardian couldn't word it as eloquently or they just didn't care. What I'm saying is they broke down
You
these
mean
heavy
because
topics
the
for
parents
kids
are
to
shit?
understand and digest easily. And you know what these are about. Staying away from drugs, learning about sexual assault and how to not talk to strangers, not being a bully. Oh wait, who's that kid? Huh, he looks kind of familiar. Overall, just doing
Oh, I
what
get
seems
it.
Oh wait, you mean to not wait? What was this about? Sexual assault being bad? So
Yeah.
stay away from leftists and conservatives. We have to stay. Okay, kids, everyone, stay in the center. Stay together. Don't go to the left. Don't go to the right. Don't go to the religious. They're all pedophiles. Stay in the center. Don't run off the center into the streets of the
if everyone
extremes.
is a pedophile, then no one is.
Shut up.
Ah,
Don't give me
wow!
that
You just
syndrome
blew my
shit.
mind.
Here,
I think you may have offered a solution right there.
here's
Just don't run into the street of the extremists.
here's Francis Ford Coppola again.
You
My
get to run
favorite
over.
PSA is where Nancy Reagan said, "Say no to drugs," while her husband was using the CIA and Contra rebels to sell cocaine to the black community to create off-the-books money to discreetly sell weapons to the Iranians to get hostages released. Oh my God.
Fuck.
Gee, that's
That's called resource management.
That's a pretty involved reference there, Francis.
Yeah.
You got to know your history for that one. Okay. One more for Mike Test, and we can go. Red Sonic Kids, you got to touch your teacher.
Dude.
What?
No.
Oh no. The original goes like this. Kids, there's nothing more cool than being hugged by someone you like. But if someone tries to touch you in a place or in a way that makes you feel uncomfortable, that's no good. It's your body. No one has the right to touch you if you don't want to. So what do?
Unless
First,
she's
you
hot.
say no. Then you gotta... then you get out of there. Most important, you gotta tell someone you trust, like your parents, your teacher, or a police officer. Okay.
Wow.
I think that this is the legendary one.
If only
Everyone
we're that
wants
easy
to
in
remember.
if only we're that easy in the real world.
Yeah, because we had a PE teacher that did that with all the girls. Like he waited on the other side of the jumping thing. I forgot the name. I don't know what it's called in the English. That you have to jump over.
rope?
No, not the jump rope.
Hurdle?
The
Hurdle?
something like that. Like the thing that resembles a horse without the head or the back or something. He always stood instead of teaching people how to roll or something or land properly. He stood behind it to catch everyone who had to jump over, especially the girls whom he always caught by the ass. And everybody knew about this. People had complained. No change. Nobody cared. And once the girls all got old enough for menopause, a lot of them were faking menopause not to dodge PE, but to not be touched by the teacher.
Okay.
Don't do anything about the guy.
Jeez. All right. Let's keep going here. Francis Ford Coppola. This asshole is literally telling people parents should be so negligent that television made for corporations who don't care about your well-being should be teaching children these values. He kind of alluded to that when he mentioned that parents should be doing this anyway. But if they're doing this anyway, why do you need a show to do it?
I thought he said earlier that it's rotten, so you should parent your kid. not watch TV.
I mean, yeah, that is true. However,
Now he's
at
going
least,
back on it?
at
So wait a
least
second.
these PSAs were benign.
So
There
which
was
one is
nothing controversial about them.
Which one is it though? Are the shows good because they have the PSAs, or are the parents bad because they're not teaching their kids this stuff?
The
Yeah.
parents are
Obviously, if one's
the
both.
parents are bad.
So the
parents
parents
are bad.
letting their kids watch
Okay.
cartoons are bad. I'm like, what? Okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
All right.
No,
They
I
don't
think,
teach
like,
you
it was, like,
anything,
saying
so
that,
that's
like,
Letting
bad.
them watch cartoons that teach them stuff that the parents should teach their kids themselves.
Here's the thing: if it doesn't teach you anything, what's bad about it? Like, is it teaching you to be a fucking rapist or something?
it might be useful in real life. I mean,
Well, that's
you may never know.
Okay, that's true, I guess. Yeah.
Anyway,
That was kind of like my motto at university. Like, why am I gonna use this for? Well, you can never know, man.
Oh
One
yeah.
day.
What do you look for in an employee? Obviously that.
Yes.
all right.
Yep.
Let's go.
That's the right thing. And these weren't really imaginative. They were kind of straightforward and mostly not nuanced at all. But they didn't need to be at the time, and that's no insult to them. It just started as a way to get parents from thinking these cartoons were only created to sell toys. But the point is, while they were shoehorned in for the most part, they still taught kids moral values, and that's what's most important. And also, that used to be what the standard was. See, now thanks to the entertainment we have today and upwards of a few decades ago, lessons were written right into the episodes with a message in mind. Of course, opposed to a little to no relation, loosely tied up PSA at the end. But I don't know if you've noticed, but PSAs as of late for like quite a few years have been a dying breed. People more often than not will make fun of PSAs because you kind of can't take these seriously anymore with how they've been memed to all living hell. But thanks to a certain
The thing is, when you have a well-written episode, you naturally have some ethical lesson in it, due to the behavior of the good characters and the behavior of the bad characters, and someone fucking up and therefore creating a problem, and how to solve it.
I think that goes with any
There's
story.
no need for PSA.
It's not. It's not just for kids. Like any story has an ethic or moral or lesson.
Whether that's G.I. Joe, whether that's Ninja Turtles, doesn't matter.
Right.
There's a bad guy who does a bad thing, and well, we learn that that's a bad thing to do. And
Pretty
essentially, Ninja Turtles is basically don't play around with mutagen. Because it does horrible things to you.
Or join a club.
I think it was the Turtles that had a Sandman character and his friend who deliberately exposed themselves to the mutagen that made the turtles and that made I forgot the names, the pig and the rhino. And
Bebop and Rocksteady.
Right, yes, thank you. And it went so bad that one guy, the guy turned into some sand monster, like some other franchises have, and his friend turned into a fish. Just a fish, and he always carried him around on his shoulder because he couldn't move. That's like, dude, I don't want to end up like that. Yeah, maybe you get superpowers, maybe you get turned into a fish that is ugly and can't do anything and is a bit retarded. Like, no, thank you. I don't want to take that risk.
Here is EC Cons again. Star Trek had always had well-written ethical morals that sometimes parallel real-life issues. Well, that's kind of the point of, with some writing, especially science fiction, you want to take modern-day issues or concepts, put them in the future where you can play around with them, whether they're sexual or race-related or whatever. You can then do that. The problem is a lot of the Star Trek episodes with race weren't very well done. And I don't know why. Because that's a very easy topic to deal with. And you could have all kinds of mature characters like Picard and Data running around saying things about race being, or racial issues no longer being a thing, and humanity, and how it's not the same in this alien culture or whatever. I think it was the first one that Star Trek handled back in the 60s. Was it Turnabout Intruder? The one with the black and white and the white and black people?
I believe, yes.
Yeah, that was like the
that
best.
That one, I think if I remember correctly, that one directly references like Martin Luther King Jr.'s speech, like the whole "free at last." And there are a couple lines that deconstruct that.
Right, and that was all you need. Like that was the definitive one. You don't have to do another racist story, whatever. You could probably bring it back in some fashion, but that was all you needed. An alien race brought themselves to extinction because they looked different, which was ridiculous.
Wisp, it's Fishboy and Putty from the Mask animated series you were talking about.
I saw it in the chat. Hawk corrected me.
Oh yeah,
it was from the Mask. And the races in that old Star Trek episode, I think it was ham-fisted, but that was all right for the time.
Exactly.
And the funny thing about because they played with it like it was a theatrical play, which is lots of what these old TV shows were like, where TV shows were still evolving from theater, and so that was resembled in the makeup for that in my how I see it, at least. It was I really like this in a way because it's so in your face. Because one race is the right, like they have a symmetrical line in the middle, and the right side of the body is dark black, and the left side is white. And the antagonists, or the people they're at war with, is the right side is white and the left side is black. Like they look exactly the same, just the black and white side is switched. And they hate each other because of that. And Voyager did a similar thing with the androids that were used as a proxy war tool.
Right.
Where you had gold androids and silver androids. That was essentially the similar idea.
Right.
But the original Star Trek series episode, I think that hits it home much better.
Especially for the price of production and what they could put together at that time was perfect. Like it's so distinct for the message and the science fiction that all it is, a bunch of aliens running around trying to kill each other. It's like, oh, why? Because they look different. It's like, whoa, okay. Message clear. Thank you. That was it.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Oh, the Orville did a nice spin on this whole thing.
Really?
I think there was also a DS9 episode that did it similarly, but I remember
they did
the
a
Orville
few.
episode right
They did
now.
a few DS9 episodes about race. That whole crazy, not flashback, but alternate world where they're in this 1910, 1920s publishing house of a magazine.
Oh, yeah.
That was a big thing.
That was at least done interesting because it turned into a psycho dream story potentially with induced by the wormhole alien god things.
I generally don't like those because it's alternate world, what if thing. Here, let's put our characters in another setting because of magic, and you're like,
the mirror universe.
Mirror universes, I don't mind.
Universe. The mirror universe is its own horrible thing that just doesn't exist except for the first episode in the original series. That was okay.
Yeah.
Everything after that is just bad.
Because
especially the DS9 things. They're just bad.
That was the origin, and therefore they can play around with it.
It's that bad after the original series, really?
It's more acceptable.
I kind of like those episodes from DS9.
It's completely pointless. I find it annoying. Kira is even worse in the mirror universe.
If you read the novels or the novellas rather that do it, they go crazy with detail and how sinister everyone is, the practices, the mental.
I don't want to know more about the mirror universe. I want it gone.
Well, that's the beauty of it. It's so crazy that they just detail it even more to be as nutty and evil and aggressive and warlike.
I think I saw like a comic book of like the mirror universe Picard, and he looks like so fucking buff.
Yeah, with the goatee.
Constantly has like a rivalry with Riker.
Yeah, they always try. They don't try and kill each other, but they're always trying to backstab each other. It's kind of funny.
Yes.
It's great. Okay, let's keep going.
Society that can survive.
Here's Mike Testa, a Red Sonic. Kids, you are gays. Smoking is cool. What? Okay. I'm not sure that's what they said, but thanks, Mike. Here's Fritz. Thanks
The
for the
most
donation.
expensive YouTube poop quote.
Yeah. Not this loser again. Why am I not surprised that someone who thinks the GBT community, just GBT, need more fags and trannies on TV to feel better about themselves is telling us that parents should be teaching their kids to be more racist and discriminatory. That's an interesting point. I don't know who these shows are for, and if you think they're for this community of GBTs or LGBTs, whatever, I don't know. And then talk about race and all, and like every other issue regarding diversity under the sun is kind of annoying. It's
the main audience of Steven Universe is 20-year-olds.
I don't know.
Because what kid is going to comprehend the
woke 20-year-olds?
Who would watch Steven Universe when you have a plethora of animation from around the world that is significantly better looking and sounding?
Yeah, but that would be an informed viewer.
But you gotta be pretty
Depends
deaf
on
and dumb.
where can you? So I have no idea where kids today naturally even watch anything and how they decide that. Because I grew up in a time where you had a TV, the program was predetermined, and all you did was choose the channel of the predetermined program.
Mostly the internet.
They'd rather play video games.
Yeah, nowadays you have Netflix, YouTube, all that shit, and you have view on demand everything.
You have competition.
Oh yeah, they'd rather go on the internet.
And it's
so I don't know how they how anyone chooses what to watch.
Well, the Netflix and like all those other services like take priority over the television, that's for sure. Mm-hmm. But yes, YouTube or like other platforms as well. There are very like rare occurrences of like people who take the effort and like look up like a certain media because like it fits their interest or like they actually are interested about it. They want to learn more about it. It's less now. They are just like trusting that like, oh, I have this service, so it's probably going to like serve all my needs. And on the contrary, I just feel like if I just like subscribe to like a service like that, my selection is quite limited because like things that are media I would watch is like not really there.
Yeah, and honestly, if I had kids, I would let my kids watch old European anime. So that was commissioned by European countries back in the day. And that's things like Alfred Jodokus Quack, or which even tackles the whole it does tackle the racist issue. It does tackle Napoleon and Hitler combined into one person and this whole political party nonsense. It even tackles space travel. It's a wonderful potpourri and is a whole family adventure. It's great. And you have the old originals from Maya the Bee and I think Crazy Philosopher told me that Heidi was commissioned by Switzerland. And there's a bunch more. There was a Swedish one called Jens Holgersson.
There was
a little boy who was flying on a goose or something.
Niels Holgersson.
Yeah, Niels Holgersson. There was even a Canadian one. There was an old Canada commissioned anime about a little kabouter, so little gnome who lives in the forest and who is a judge and holds court over the animals that are in dispute with each other. So that was an interesting one. And there's tons of these. There was an old one, an old anime adaptation of Treasure Island. It was pretty dark too. Another one about a boy in some European rural, let's say 18th, 19th century forest who befriended a deer, and basically it was his pet friend. He went on adventures with and cared about, and at some point was really sad. The deer lost its white spots and grew up, and he had to let go of it. That was a sad one. there's a Jungle Book anime series. It's a bit of much different than any of the Disney takes. Where Mowgli talks with his wolf family. He's brought up by wolves in that story. Plays in India. There's tons of these really awesome shows, and they're all old. I think I'd rather let my kids watch Ninja Turtles, and SpongeBob, and even the original Powerpuff Girls and Samurai Jack over any of the current bullshit.
All right.
I don't know what's
Not
currently
the new
coming
Powerpuff
out that's
Girls.
not bullshit. Fuck that.
Here's
First generation is the only good stuff.
Here's Mike Testa. PSAs are a dying breed for a darn good reason, Joe. I think there's plenty of kids shows from around the world that we've had in the past 20 years that are so good and so entertaining and so simple for each age group, like each age almost, 4, 5, and 6, that you don't need PSAs. And I've watched a few with my nephews and my niece. They're fun for singing and dancing, and they're very colorful, and they're great. They're great shows. So they don't need They don't need some moral or ethic at the end. They're there for kids.
I would love to see a PSA for Transformers. Like, don't do drugs, kids.
I think they had some. I can't remember. I think they
Transformers.
Did they?
All these things I've listed. Every episode has a thing going on that these bad PSA takes, these ham-fisted things, put in these 5-second things. If you do it well, you have it in the story already. And Ken Kaneki in the chat said those are cartoons, not anime. Because Zeichentrick, German word for cartoons, is not the same as anime. I have to correct you on that. All these things are the things I've listed, the ones before Turtles and Samurai Jack, from Nils Holgersson, Maya the Bee, Alfred Jodokus Quack, all of that stuff. Those were commissioned and created in unison between the several European nations' state media and Japan. It was Japanese drawings, animation studios that realized these. The ideas were commissioned by the European countries. But it's technically it is anime, and it's in that style. The Heidi anime that we, as a kid, I always thought, yeah, it's Zeichentrick, it's all the same. The Heidi thing was made by Miyazaki of Studio Ghibli, and you can see that in that whole style.
All right, let's keep going. Here's Everjance. Oh boy, this is fun. I am Snowflame. Every cell of my being burns with white-hot ecstasy. Cocaine is my god, and I am the human instrument of its will. This is a real quote from the DC villain. Wow, that's awesome. When you're powered by drugs, you're going to say some wild, crazy stuff. Huh. Here's Logical's Moki. Nothing to see, move along. All right, I gotcha. Mike Testa, when are we going to get Transformers 9/11 PSA?
20 years too late. You sure about that?
Oh boy. Let's just keep going.
I don't think so.
We're dealing with racism right
please.
now. Let's not talk about 9/11, okay? Anyway,
Yeah, let's
go.
Certain Cartoon Network, PSAs and cartoons have seemed to be coming back. More specifically now, Steven Universe specifically has imaginative, high effort, and well-written PSAs on nuanced topics needed to be taught to kids in an easily explainable manner. Say whatever regurgitated opinion you want about the show, but these PSAs are high quality, and they deserve to be talked about as
What exactly is a high-quality PSA? The message, the method?
None of them.
Sorry, like just look at this animation, like how much they had to degrade it. Like, cause like even like standard like Steven Universe animation is like you look at it and it's a joke.
By default, a PSA will not be high quality ever.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's usually like
I think what he means by high quality is just it's longer and there's some actual storyboarding put into it instead of the old PSAs, which is just after the credits, you get the screen and the circle, the characters in it, says 5 words, and is gone. So contrary to that,
this is like these are like mini episodes. Like it's like new animation. But
I watched them. They're not that unique.
Sailor says, I think like they just like reused like animations from like the episode and like made it like lip sync.
Yep.
Quality.
Because the Japanese never did that. So
yeah, of course they didn't.
They had nothing to work with.
Yeah.
It's funny. They have to squeeze them in because a bunch of focus groups or whatever moms complain and go, fine, we'll try and do this. Just to put
Meanwhile, the dad is just at work.
Yeah, just to put some cartoons on Youth Television Network or whatever it was in the 90s. It's a silly thing. And it got translated and it got redistributed. It was just so funny to see different languages of Sailor Moon lip syncing to this crap. You're like, okay, fine, I guess.
Yeah. And this, I wouldn't call this high quality in an objective fashion. You could only call this high quality in a relative fashion to these old things where you have just this one animation with the mouth moving and saying a few lines.
Whenever you
like
have a
relatively to that, there's more effort put into this. Yes, but it's not high quality.
A subjectivist or someone who sees things emotionally says something is high quality. You don't have a criteria to work with. It's just, I like it, therefore it's high quality. Like, that's not the criteria. What is the criteria? Because right now, looking at this, the animation's crap. The style, the coloring, the lighting. I don't know what's going on.
Smudge, you don't think it's creative?
Are they covered in foam? Like, what is this light? Are they standing in soap? Is there a
I don't know.
A mist machine? Like, what's going? I don't know.
They're in a studio.
They're behind the scenes, like what, talking in their director chairs.
Yeah, it's this thing where they try to make a traditional PSA message, I guess.
Really?
And then it's like, oh, cut, and then the real message played or something. I don't know. It's really stupid.
Yeah, I saw the quick one before. I was not impressed. It was dumb. Anyway, here's Fritz, the mysterious Mr. Enter. The mysterious Mr. Enter made a good video. Sorry. Whingy diatribe about PSAs and how they're always been shit. The mysterious Mr. Enter. I'm going to write that down.
Yes, he's a YouTube video creator, man.
Okay.
And I think like his main focus is animation, so.
I will check that out. Thank you, Fritz. Appreciate that. Okay, let's keep going.
They've ranged from talking about how you shouldn't base your life on what you see on social media, how you should know it's not your place to talk about another person's body type, or just how you...
Why not?
Oh.
Why can't I talk about someone and the way they look? How is
I'm
it?
not about...
Because that's a fat shaming.
Dude, you're the guy who's telling me to judge people by the color of their skin.
Yeah.
But you cannot judge the body type. Big difference. Risk.
So
fuck you.
So fat and black.
Judging people already.
Fucking double thinking hypocrite.
So fat
like,
and black.
I mean, like I can call you like
white
bread as much as possible,
dude,
but like
either it's
when
okay
you
to
like
judge
tell me
people by
like
what they
my
look or
body
not.
type, that's like a no.
If you look unhealthy, you look unhealthy. And if you have a certain type that doesn't give me a hard on, then it doesn't give me a hard on. And when you want to touch me, then I don't want that.
Whoa, okay.
That's enough. Yeah, but that's another layer of that, because many of these SJWs, especially the girls, insist that you, because they want you to fuck them, and you don't find them attractive, that they then accuse you of something. And that you're just judging them based on how they look. Dude, I don't care. Let's be honest. I don't care what you look like.
Wow.
But my genitals, they're very picky.
I agree.
Okay.
I mean, the kids, I don't think they care.
Yeah, the kids don't give a shit.
At the same time, when they get
don't
teenagers,
give a shit
right,
in the process unless you teach them to
gets
give a shit.
into overdrive, right?
It is strange.
12, 14. This stuff is frying kids' brains.
It is strange to pick on appearances and then yet still be a topic related to being anti-racist. It's bizarre. Either I don't see race,
Yeah,
or I do see something else. Like, which one do you want me to do?
Yeah, what is anti-racism? I hope he explains
you're not
it,
only,
but I don't know what it is.
You're not only against racism, you're advocating for things that are against racism, which is retarded.
Okay, I mean,
if something is non-existent, then why are you?
I feel like it's like, but I feel like anti-racism. You have to be obsessed.
Like, you are an advocate.
Isn't that what anti means?
Yeah, you are now an advocate for the thing, whatever it is was bad. Like Nazism is bad. Are you an anti-Nazi? It's like, I don't know what that means. How do I eradicate Nazis?
Yeah.
What do you want me to do? Hunt people down?
You need to remove socialism. That's the only way.
That would make sense.
Yeah.
That would make sense.
That would lead to world peace. Imagine a world without socialism.
Oh.
Like you would have like that lawyer from The Simpsons, like thinking like, everybody's getting along.
Like actual rainbows and sunshine everywhere, everybody holding hands.
Yeah,
kind of like Watchmen. The news have nothing to print now.
Without socialism, we might have an actual chance at getting the world that socialism claims to bring us towards.
Yes.
We will finally hit paradise.
If only we had it today, we would have no problems with PSAs. Like, yeah, okay.
We would
that's why racism
the other
is
religious
important.
groups, but
let's just stop talking about it. Yeah.
Here's an idea.
And that's the I think that's the core thing of this. And the term anti-racism was invented specifically to render the term non-racist or not racist as a bad thing. Because anti-racist is all loaded with this intersectional race theory shit from the radical left that is just the race theory of the Nazis, but with the arrow turned around towards another race that's not the bad guys, and that you are allowed and even compelled, not just allowed, but compelled to disregard and put down and hate on. And another race to elevate. A specific one. It's just the arrows turned around. But it's the same, it's mechanically exactly the same race theory that the Nazis had.
Oh, God.
And it uses the same mechanics to be taught.
Okay, let's keep going. Here's Francis Ford Coppola. I miss the good old days of sharp-lined cartoons. Also, the purple neon lighting in cartoons these days is so lazy, or untalented artists don't have to bother drawing shadows. That's a good point. If you look at these characters on the screen, I don't see any shade. Just trying to compare. Yeah, there's no other gradation. There's no other hue. Maybe it's so smooth I can't tell, but I cannot see.
I think like they were supposedly like the shading on the left character is like it's very half-assed.
I can't see the weird in the central character, the hair. The left outline is like a light source, so you see the outline. On the right side, it's darker. Okay, yeah. So there is. It gives the illusion of the light source on the left rather. So that's as close as they get to shadow. There's no levels. There's no like. I don't know if you guys are familiar with cartoon art, but cartoon art usually has shadows underneath everything. So there's a light source from above, like the sun or the light, and you see cross hatches or some dark elements to show form and figure, and light sources. So I don't see that here. And
that's because they're trying to make everything the same.
And this character in the center, I don't know if they're a male or female. Like, what is going on? I don't know.
That's the one in the center is female coded from the two female coded characters of Pearl and Amethyst, I think.
Fine, whatever.
Yes.
The one is the one that is weird. The weird one is Steven on the right, which
That's
is
Steven?
here. That is Steven.
Wait a minute. Whoa, hold on. That's Steven?
Oh, yeah, that is Fusion Dance Steven fused with his female Asian friend.
Connie.
Okay, whatever.
Girlfriend or just friend?
Yeah, kind of.
At this point, girlfriend. Yeah.
We'll go with that.
Yes.
Friend,
in this shape, he also has double.
So they form.
And these radical leftists somehow, because they're insane, cheer this as some trans victory bullshit. When I just look at this and think you are insane, disgusting, fetishistic,
the fusion is female,
child sexualizing assholes.
Wait,
Yeah,
how
the fusion-
is she Asian though?
The fusion dancers in Steven Universe, they are utterly sexual. If you look at these fusion dances, it's hip gyrating and jumping into the other's pelvis and all motions like that. And the character on the left, Garnet, she is also a fusion of two characters, Ruby and Sapphire.
Women, right?
Yeah, that are basically, they look like 8-year-olds.
Oh, that's hot.
Mind you, that was actually planned from the beginning.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Just as God intended.
So, this is all weird.
Anyway,
Yeah.
let's keep going. Mike,
What I see when I see this stuff is I can't help but think mediocre Newgrounds Flash animations are now top leading cartoons. Great.
Okay.
I also never thought like
don't
Dragon
get
Ball
it.
Z fusions would be more mature than this.
Oh, yeah.
Yes,
They make
they are.
more sense too.
Yeah,
That as well, yes.
Yeah, no sex.
No sex.
Mhm.
Yeah, imagine a kid show with no sex.
Here is Mike Testa. Mr. Enter is that guy who has a failed cartoon series in which kids are the adults and adults are the kids, and it's horrifying concept and divorce worse. What? It's
Okay.
divorce worse.
We will have to wait for the next super chat to explain.
Maybe
this.
he meant divorced work.
I don't know.
Okay. Here's another Mike Testa, but it's a different topic. Left is Boombox, the middle tombstone, and a tree. Tombstone and a tree.
Yeah, oh yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah, the hair of the middle one looks like a tombstone, and with all the arms, it looks like a tree. Yeah, I know what you mean, Mike.
Oh, Mike was making a joke. I don't know when Mike's making a joke. It's hard to, again, we have to figure this out.
I love these puzzles.
Too smart for us. What the hell is he talking about? Anyway.
Mike
Let's
Testa is the genius.
You're special in your own way, just the way you are. And these are separately made from the show in a completely different style. And like I said, written really well with the conversation in mind rather than just a character telling you, this bad, this good, don't go to hell.
Drugs can kill. And if you do drugs, you go to hell before you die.
Yeah, that's real. But the problem.
Okay, I'm sorry.
not
What
wrong.
if Captain Lou Albano was right about
He
that?
was right, yeah. If you do
That
drugs.
was Super Mario, right?
Yeah.
The
Super Mario Super Show.
was so weird.
Super Mario.
That was so weird.
Dun, 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 da, 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 da. Hey, let's go. Let's do the Mario. All his crazy songs he would sing.
Oh yeah, the Mario rap, right? Do the Mario rap.
Something like that. I don't know.
Do the Mario.
Do the Mario. That was it, the whole song. Do the Mario. It's just da, da, da.
Step by step.
I still don't know what the Mario is, and I still don't know what the secret of Mario's jump is.
We have no idea. It's okay.
Drugs.
We don't have to. Mushrooms.
Yeah,
Lots of
mushrooms,
Mushrooms.
weed.
Here is Francis
Yeah, the fire flower.
Ford Coppola. In fan circles of cartoons from the early to mid 2000s, there's a meme of the characters growing up to be darker versions of themselves with a dreary tone to them. I'd kill to replace the soft Cal Arts crap with that. Huh. I don't know. A lot of cartoons I liked from the 90s were kind of, not dark, but they were mature. So if they got even darker, I don't know if I'd want to watch that. Like Gargoyles was pretty mature for its
Don't
age.
bother.
X-Men, Spider-Man, those were all really well done. You know, like Batman, if it gets any darker, holy it's like, geez. Like what's
Wasn't
going to...
like Beyond like maybe a bit darker than the original?
Batman
Like,
Beyond,
I feel like some parts of it were.
some were
Beyond was fine.
serious. Yeah, some were more serious, some were a bit more funny, but it was very well done. The future was envisioned really well. And I thought old Batman was pretty dark. So
Yeah.
he was brutal. He just beat the crap out of people if you ever got the opportunity. This old man with a cane and a dog just beating the crap out of like 5 guys. Holy crap.
But did he kill people?
Did he die though?
Never went to that extent.
Batman? No, Batman never. Never.
Not that version of Batman.
No.
Which
let's
version?
clarify that.
Yeah.
No
I would
good version
love
of Batman.
Zack Snyder's PSA. That would be great.
Oh God! Don't even.
If you can kill someone, dude.
and then 2 months later, we'll get the Snyder cut for that.
It's like 5 hours long.
Those kids at Columbine, yeah, they knew what's up.
Oh God.
All right.
Problem is that so talk about very political propaganda heavy topics like racism, inclusivity, acceptance, and telling the whole story when it comes to American US history. If you can tell by my sarcastic tone, I think it's bullshit every time someone comes out with their 15-minute rant about Steven Universe and how it's brainwashing kids or how they just completely missed the point of all these PSAs. You'd be surprised at how often it happens, not pointing any fingers.
Maybe you are just putting your fingers in your ears?
Who is this for? Who is this show for? They're not for kids.
Yeah, what kid's gonna comprehend all this crap?
Like exactly like what we just said. Like it's for 20-year-olds, like who are
for
mostly like
20-year-olds
part of
to-
these weird
to-
groups.
To fap
like-
to their own ideology.
And,
But, like,
dude,
what bothers me
we
is
could
that,
tell
like,
you were
he's not, like-
sarcastic. There was nothing special about it.
What bothers me is that like he's not even getting into the topic itself, like where those people are wrong. Like, can you like
Exactly.
describe, like, to gain detail, like why these
Yeah,
people
and what
are
is
like wrong
anti-racism
about
again?
them?
He still hasn't
There's
gotten into it.
nothing. It's just like, oh, you're dumb. Okay.
There's nothing
And
wrong.
Then he
parents.
moves on.
Okay, well, why is it not wrong? Teach me.
Joe, I'm trans, and I'm telling you that that what Steven Universe teaches about trans is bullshit. It's
I'm
horrible
subhuman,
bullshit.
and I still know that it's trash.
Is
so-
he a parent?
I hope not.
I don't know. Let's not speculate. Let's just keep going. Here's Mike Testa. Mike gave me the icon for an exclamation mark. That's pretty cool. I've never seen that before. Bad touch, no. Step away from the children, alien. I believe you're referring to Steven Universe, I think. Because they're aliens, I think?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. They're
Alright.
supposed to be gem life forms somehow.
Something. I don't know.
Silicate life forms in some way,
That's-
and that's why they're somehow non-gendered
They're
while
silicate,
looking
really?
like something or not, or blah, blah, blah.
Okay, fine, whatever.
And I think this PSA is about how kids should use social media correctly, and it's like
Yeah,
you
not use it.
shouldn't use
How about-
social
yeah.
media.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the right answer to that question is not use it at all
Why
until
are-
after you're 13.
Why are kids using
Yeah.
social media at all? Period. That's weird.
I promise this
I don't
guy
know,
is
it
this guy
blows
is
my mind.
throwing out a sentence that is just a Gordian knot of garbled nonsense, like a cat barfing up fur. And just this last bit, I would need 5 minutes to comprehend what he actually said and insinuated, and then probably an hour to take it apart
Let's not have to do
and
that.
correct that. Yes, I know. I'm just saying this is high level bullshit.
Oh yeah, no, don't worry, we know.
Really high level brain damage.
But he likes it because it's informative. It's teaching you stuff I like. It's like that's great, Joe.
Yeah, and if
That's
we
great.
watch
Keep
Christian
watching it
cartoons,
then, asshole.
preachers will like it. So that's the level you're on. You're just preaching about another surreal bullshit reality.
Yeah.
He basically said, "Oh, I don't like when people complain. It's bullshit." It's like, wow,
Really?
okay, bro. Yeah, he just said it.
I'm sure all those PSA reviews that people do on YouTube they're all wrong. Every single one, every comment, every opinion.
Like there's like
absolutely,
one of the PSAs where like I think like one of the characters says like you humans like that.
Yeah,
Yeah, who
that
remembers
sounds
that?
so
how old
wrong.
is this
That
guy?
I like.
He looks like he's in his from the thing Mark posted. He looks like he's in his late 20s at the very least.
Yes.
Like, dude, when 10, 15 years ago, you had no bloody idea any of these bullshit things of anti-racism or trans as the left twists it even existed. Because no one thought of it like that. Well, with the racism, actual racists thought what you are thinking and perpetuating now. But this trans stuff, nobody thought that. Nobody, except a few radical left academics who circle jerked around and hoped that this shit would somehow stick at some point with the next generation, and sadly it did.
Yep.
All right, let's go.
Nowadays, whenever one of these is posted, it's seen as very controversial. And you probably be thinking, why? They're just teaching kids moral values as they've been for decades. What's so different about it now? Well, one Twitter user on a viral tweet said it's kind of crazy to them. Grew up with told them to not care about race, and the ones kids watch nowadays tell them to care about race, and just how wonky that is. Now, statements like this and opinions like these bug me a lot because people tend to pretend like stuff like this hasn't existed for decades. You know, the PSA stuff. The person says like a lot of
but the old PSA stuff said don't care about race.
He completely missed the point, though. Like, I'm sorry to interrupt. Like, he completely missed the point. Like, it was like he was arguing that like why are they not talking about race anymore? And then like he said like he cut it off that like PSAs exist. Like what?
Dude, the problem isn't Joe. The problem isn't whether there's PSAs or not. The problem is the message. And the old PSAs said, if they tackled this issue, they said, don't care about race, don't judge people based on the color of their skin, but their character and what they're actually doing. And your PSAs now tell kids the opposite. They tell kids, don't judge people by their actions or by their character, but solely by the color of their skin. The color of their skin designates what value a person has, and whether it's an oppressor or an oppressed person. And therefore, the oppressed person, and this is where the intersexual social justice bullshit comes in, that now the oppressed person should to level the playing field instead be the oppressor towards the oppressor person. Which is why now, since you define white people as the oppressors and black people as the oppressed, by definition, nothing in between, no exceptions, that in order to level the playing field, now the black people should be and should act like, not just be allowed, but should have to act like the oppressors, and the white people have to be oppressed, but they cannot be oppressed due to a definition that they are always the oppressors. So even if you would put them in chains and torture them and hunt them down and lynch them, you would still say they are the oppressors. They cannot be oppressed, and we cannot be racist against them, while you would be lynching a white person for being white. That's the world you live in, and that the world that many of those on your extremist side of politics would want to put into reality. And we've seen that. We've seen that with Black Lives Matter in 2014 or 2015, was it? Where a bunch of Black Lives Matter activists, I think in Chicago, kidnapped a white, severely disabled kid, abducted that kid, and tortured it with burning cigarette stumps on his head, and live streamed that. And those BLM activists got away for it. And you know what their justification was? To get back at white people. That's why they abducted a severely disabled autistic kid and tortured it with cigarette stumps on his head. And those are supposed to be the good guys. Those are supposed to be the good guys?
Something to aspire to, right? Okay.
Yeah, and then a year or two later they started burning up the whole United States and are still somehow the good guys. Like, the origins of these people is abductees and torturers based on racial hatred. Nobody brought the story up again. Of course, the media
they're mostly
didn't.
Peaceful protests, that's why.
These people abducted a disabled child to torture it on live stream.
Yep.
All right. Here is Evar Jantz. Batman Beyond, Bruce was still against killing. The series began with him almost shooting a thug, afterwards realizing that it was time to hang it up. Was that the same episode he found his dog?
The pilot.
The pilot, yeah.
It's the pilot, yes.
Yeah, I thought so. Okay. All right. Yeah, Batman Beyond, great show. Fantastic stuff. We're not even halfway done. Okay, let's go.
People do that when they grew up, nothing like this was on TV. And here specifically, oddly enough, they say cartoons told them not to care about race. Now I'm gonna need y'all to point me to a cartoon and tell me which one told y'all not to care about race. Which one? Matter of fact, which one told you not to care about
X-Men, Gargoyles, Spider-Man, yeah, all the good ones
Superman.
in the 90s. No one
Power
mentioned it.
Rangers. I know it's not a cartoon, but still.
I just feel like he totally like misunderstands this. Like, oh no, like you don't care about my skin color now.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's that they didn't
I
tell
have
you
no
anything.
characteristics other than my skin.
You know what's funny?
He doesn't
We don't care what his race is, but we do care when he starts using the word nigga. Because we don't say that.
Whoa.
No, I'm quoting him. I'm quoting him. It's not my word. I love this defense because I can just hear it and I can repeat it. It's like, why are you saying that? It's like someone else said it. Because everyone else has said everything else I've ever heard.
Yeah, if I read what's that book called? The Adventures of
Huckleberry Finn.
Is it Huckleberry or
Yes, Huckleberry Finn.
Yeah. They say the N-word.
A lot.
So like if I read that out loud, am I suddenly racist?
No, you're not. Of course not.
Oh, that's why they've been censoring Huckleberry Finn now.
Yeah.
Oh no, they did not. Really?
Yeah, it's taken off the curriculum.
Well, they haven't.
In
some states, yes, but if you're talking about the book, depending who is publishing it, wherever, they have either edited those terms out, or it has been banned completely, which is bizarre. This is part of American history. One of the better, well-known American authors. So
Fucking snowflakes.
there's nothing wrong with these words, provided you understand their context.
Well, he doesn't seem to understand too. It's like they didn't talk about it, but he interprets it as, they're telling you not to care. It's like, no, you idiot. What are you getting at here? Like,
there's plenty of great shows out there that had nothing about race. They never mentioned it. They never talked about it. It wasn't a plot point. It wasn't a character element. It just had characters within interesting scenarios that kids wanted to watch.
Yeah.
Spider-Man was turning into a
Looney
spider.
Tunes.
Oh my God. He literally has 6 arms now. Holy crap. What's he going to do?
oh, the man spider.
Yeah, like that's...
Oh, Lord.
You want to talk about having bad problems with your body or appearances not being attractive. Like, holy shit. Now what do you do, buddy? Forget
And
race.
then when they brought, when they brought an alter version of him that was still dealing with it
Yeah.
for the what was it, the Clone Saga?
Oh no.
That's like you knew he was going to turn into the Man Spider at some point, just from the first moment you see him.
That clone series of
Clone
episodes
Saga.
was not the best.
My favorite's the one with Doc Ock's arms.
There was one with Doc Ock's arms.
Yes.
Yes. There's one. There's Spider-Man Prime, Ben Reilly, the one without powers. That's an actor. The one that becomes the Man Spider, Spider Armor, which actually influenced the PS1 video game a little bit. And there's the one that just took Doc Ock's arms, just to not bother with him ever again.
I'll have to rewatch.
Anyway, let's get to the halfway point. See how well we do.
controversial subjects in general? Was it the Proud Family that dealt with sexism? Or how about Braceface that talked about drinking and the dangers that come from it? Or maybe, I don't know, Static Shock, which had an episode dedicated to racism? My point is, a lot of these older cartoons dealt with serious and similar topics.
Yeah, it's an episode, not a
new.
PSA.
The only thing that is new is that we're starting to talk about these subjects in a nuanced way more and more. I'm always...
Yeah, Static made it an actual entertaining and well-written episode, not a PSA.
Yeah, it's called storytelling. That's why we watch these shows.
Yes.
That's what I talked about all the time before.
I don't remember a PSA in the Proud Family.
There's nothing wrong with having a story about anything. It's fine. Is it interesting? Is it fun? Is it cool? Is it dramatic? Whatever the point is it doing the thing it's supposed to do? If so, good story. Great.
Yes.
Even then, does the kid really behave on that?
Well, no, but I'm saying the characters, if they have this as an aspect of their persona or their conflicts or their development, great. Tell a story about Wolverine dating a black woman.
Mm-hmm.
Why not? Go for it. Go crazy. Like whatever. Bring up race. Bring up his lifestyle. Bring up the fact he's so old and doesn't know how to care for people. Whatever. Go nuts. I think that's great. But don't at the end say, this was an episode about race. And in this racial episode, we had a black woman be attracted to Wolverine. Like, that would be so awkward and silly.
To prove that interracial couples can mate.
Yeah, it's unnecessary. It's insulting your audience. And I think kids are smart enough to want to watch a show, which was I think X-Men was a giant soap opera, personally. Half the shows were all who likes who and why and who's going to die. And I got to say.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of soap opera was going around. So I don't mind that, but that's why you watched it. You like that stuff. So you don't need to have a guy at the end go, listen, kids, this was a story about Jean Grey trying to get it on with Wolverine, but she couldn't because she loves Scott. And it's like, it makes sense now. I didn't get that.
No, I think that's part of why I hated PSAs as a kid, because it seemed like the show thought I was stupid.
Oh, what was that?
What was that? Did you censor yourself?
A loud. No, that was a loud truck. My bad.
The show thought, don't. Whoa.
No, it was a loud N-word.
Oh, yeah. And they were censored, obviously.
It was
What are you saying, Wes?
It was, I think part of why I didn't, or rather even hated these PSAs was not just the immersion breaking and fourth wall breaking, and the ham-fistedness, but because it seemed like the show thought I was stupid.
Because the tone.
Kids, I think kids pick up on that. When kids pick up on that whatever's on the TV thinks you're stupid, you don't like it.
When you watch an animated show.
Welcome to most kids' content ever.
Yeah, when you watch a movie or a show or something specifically geared for a certain effect, like a drama, and all of a sudden the drama ends on a cliffhanger or whatever, and then the tone changes completely to, hey, let's talk about bullying. And you're like, okay, I don't need to do that. I'm well invested to watch the show next week, but we're going to talk about, and it's so obvious. Like, kids aren't dumb. Oh, they're teaching me about bullying. Fine, whatever. What's on next? Let me switch the channel to
what it's like to be a victim.
Whatever. Yeah, it's stupid. It's unnecessary. So kids are not dumb, especially when they've seen the same show more than once. So let's keep going. Mike Testa, stop resisting, stop dirty gem alien. What?
What? Oh my god.
Yeah. John Doe, the average Joe. These PSAs have same energy as PowerPoint slides. In some cases, you're right. Yeah.
That's a very good analogy.
Some of them are okay. Some of them are funny, but some of them are mostly just boring.
Most of the university stuff was. Yeah.
Confused when people say stuff like this, like we've never had this type of shit in our entertainment, as if it hasn't just been there since the creation of PSAs. People usually have a problem with these ones specifically because of the messages they usually don't
that is the dumbest thing he said so far. This thing has been around since the creation of PSAs. Yes, PSAs have been around since they've been created. Thank you, Joe.
Mm-hmm.
Very
wow.
Very smart take. The difference is that the old PSAs, as ham-fisted as they were sensible lessons. But this stuff is not lessons. This stuff is propaganda. This stuff is anti-reality and anti-good behavior.
Yeah.
This is the stuff as a parent that wants a kid to grow up as a good person. You don't want them to watch this.
Yeah, because the thing is, I think with this specific PSA was that the woman, I forget her name, the crystal gem woman, she's like, oh, it's racism, it's out there, we need to talk about it. That was the message. And I'm just like, what kid is gonna understand that or even think that's an issue?
Yeah. And you're just bringing racism into their world because you have no real demons to fight anymore. That's why you're reinventing it. And you're propping up this demon and you're saying it's everywhere. Like the feminists came up with this patriarchy bullshit that is everywhere and that we're breathing, but the message couldn't really be brought home to everyone. So you went all the way to the racism bullshit and reinvented that. And that seems to stick better. And it pisses me off. Because, as I said before, if I had kids, I wouldn't want them to watch your propaganda, I wouldn't want them to watch Christian propaganda, and I wouldn't want them to watch the Hamas propaganda for kids that tells them that Jews are evil and need to be killed.
Specifically a white kid.
By a guy in a Mickey Mouse costume,
Could you imagine Barney talking about racism?
Oh, God.
Hey, kids!
Oh,
hey kids, you have to value the green dinosaurs over the yellow dinosaurs, because the green dinosaurs are actually oppressed by the yellow dinosaurs, and that's why you need to hate the yellow dinosaurs and love the green dinosaurs.
We need to fight against communism.
And you need to let the green dinosaurs do everything to you that they want, because they're oppressed dinosaurs. Even if they kill you, you need to let them do that, otherwise you are just racist against the green dinosaurs.
please.
That's the message here.
No.
That's all this message here is.
Yeah, and it's annoying because it's always like, oh, the white people, the white man bad, and it's like they don't face racism as well. Like, come on.
All right, let's.
We talk about the Roman Empire and the Germanic tribes.
Oh no, let's go way back in time. Anyway.
They thought we were brutes.
Such as with this one. See, the setup with these current Steven Universe PSAs is actually from a pretty meta approach. In Universe, the characters are filming a typical PSA that usually follows how the cheesy in-your-face ones always do. And then after going over the information and how it's portrayed, they go, this isn't right. Let's talk to kids and explain to them what the problem actually is, rather than...
Oh, let's preach. Wow, let's drop the entire pretext and just preach. Yeah, great idea. Fantastic. Who the hell would want that?
You know what the joke is?
Oh, it's just a PSA then.
You know what the real joke here is? This is Pearl. Pearl is... She's highly obsessive to the point of OCD. She's very controlling.
Oh, what?
Ah!
Whoa, what happened?
Whoa.
What happened?
No, not all the way.
I ain't gonna watch that shit again.
There.
Pearl is extremely strict. She is... Imagine an authoritarian French ballet instructor. That's her character.
I like that.
This is not someone you want to be taught anything by.
Oh,
this is the most horrible teacher figure you can imagine.
I wouldn't mind that as a woman, not necessarily as a teacher, though. Yeah, you're right. Okay.
Yeah.
She's
why
more like
why would I
officer
want
from
to listen
Auschwitz
to
or
her?
Birkenhauen. Really, like, that's like what she's like closest to.
I mean, look what even the way the expression they put on her here. I mean, that's in character, okay. But if my teacher looks like this and tells me to think a certain way, then as a kid I'm thinking like, you're an asshole. I'm not gonna do what you're telling me. I'm gonna have some reactance and do the opposite, just to spite you, you bloody stupid teacher, authoritarian.
Just
kid
because
doesn't think in those words, but yeah, kid doesn't think in those words, but that's just the reaction you get. Like, teacher is telling me to do certain things again that I don't want to do. I just want to play.
Here's my
Kid just wants to play, and you're telling kid to think a certain way, in a specific way, believe in a specific thing, see the world in a specific way, instead of letting the kid explore.
Yeah,
because if you let the kid explore, the kid might not end up in your ideology. That's your fear, because you want them to be all little complying communists.
Here's Mike Testa from Elmo, brought to you by the letter E for eugenics. Ha!
Yeah.
I can't do it in his voice,
Sadly.
but yeah, I know what you mean.
I don't even know how Elmo talks. Like that, right?
Elmo wants to do this. Like, okay. He talks like a little
really
kid.
high pitched.
Yeah, he talks.
It's the really scary thing is that this topic is actually connected to this shit, but that's another story.
All right, let's keep going.
The
Sesame
Sesame
version that misses the point of the conversation completely. See, like this one, the most recent one that everybody's talking about now? It starts off with Amethyst and some kids talking about how equality is showing that colors don't matter and you shouldn't see color, and bringing up the age-old, well, if you're black, white, or purple, I don't care saying. And then breaking from the original script of the in-universe PSA to explain how adding this imaginary color actually detracts from the real message that kids should be learning. Because adding this imaginary color detracts from the real issues black people in America face.
No. If colors don't matter, purple doesn't matter, because purple is a color. It's a whole point. It doesn't matter what your skin tone is. Purple, blue, green, yellow, orange, yada yada. That's the point.
Yeah. Very simple for a kid to understand. Instead, you're like, oh, we need to be on the nose. America's systemically racist.
Obviously,
against black people.
Obviously, a kid would go, well, wait a second, who are purple? I was like, well, no, Timmy, there are no. That's the point. Like, you explain to the kid, there are no purple people. That's the point, because it does not matter. Yet. So,
what does it matter?
There was like, sorry to interrupt, but like there was actually, I think, a news about like a guy who turned like blue because he was drinking like something.
Oh,
like a connection with like silver or something.
It's silver nitrate. Silver nitrate turns your skin blue.
Yeah.
Yeah. It makes you one of the members of the Blue Man Group.
Oh, that's not healthy, but okay.
I could be wrong, but I don't think this PSA was talking specifically about black people. I think he's just self-projecting that, but I'm not too sure because again, I couldn't stand to watch more than.
I do remember. I vaguely remember this PSA ending in that you have to see race. You should see race. For otherwise, you couldn't. How else could you give Basically, that's what it leads to. Give reparations to black people. Because white people, even the white girl here, in the end says that she is the bad race that needs to atone or something. I don't have the exact words in my head anymore. They're more benign than that.
Must atone.
But it's the same message.
You humans.
Here's my juice box. I'm sorry for being such a racist.
I don't know, but these reparation people are just always like giving me like a bad taste in my mouth. Like, should I ask like the Mongolians for reparations after 800 years for destroying like 50% of my country? Like, no, I don't care. I think like they become badass. Like they came all the way like 8,000 kilometers away from us, and they managed to do that much damage. They just like fucked the way back because they were just bored. Like, come on! Like, you have a nation like that, and then like,
you need reprimand.
I don't care. Like, go and fuck yourself or something.
No, you need it. Okay, so next time you see a kid with a lunchbox, just take that shit.
Yeah, it's like no, it stops. Like it sins of the father or whatever the hell it's called. The thing stops after like the person who committed the crime. Okay, like the next generation isn't like responsible for those things.
I have not heard a reparations argument ever, and I don't think it's reputable. So
no,
no, that never makes sense. And if you ever press them for, well, what would be suitable? What is the thing? What would need to happen, and for how long, or what is the amount or the thing?
Yeah. There's no law
that satisfies you. When would you be satisfied? What would need to happen for you to be satisfied? And there's never an answer. Because it's not about getting anything. It's about
self-improvement?
It's about perpetually playing victim. Because if you ever gave anything concrete that could be solved, and then the problem would be gone, and you couldn't complain anymore.
All right,
and they want to keep complaining.
Here is Fritz. Pearl's a neurotic fascist. Amethyst is a indolent wretch. Garnet's a stoic faggot. Lapis Lazuli's a punk bitch. Peridot is okay. And Steven's somehow a bigger faggot than Garnet. Thanks, Fritz.
Not wrong. I
really like to say that out loud.
Borderline disorder. Because she's an absolute trash heap, and she's completely indulgent. She lives in a trash heap. She has absolutely no self-restraint.
So Oscar the Grouch
is unable to take responsibility for anything, starting with herself. It's just horrible.
Sounds like a retarded version of Sesame Street. Anyway, here's Mike Testa again. These are just adults drawn as kids. Don't lie. The lines are written by adults, and they probably think like this is how kids should talk, or want them to talk. And
These people don't understand kids. They only want to fuck them.
Okay, let's keep going.
That's reading too much into it.
It's every day. I think it's a very important lesson that kids should know. You know, along with not talking to strangers and treating everyone the way you want to be treated and remembering just to say no. You know, all the things you're supposed to know when you're older. I don't think there's a problem with kids learning to be anti-racist.
Yeah, I want my kids to say y'all niggas tripping. That'd be great. Thanks, Veridis Joe. Wow.
Can he like spend like half a minute without saying that word?
Okay.
I'm not even like offended by it. I'm just like, is that this his vocabulary?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, and this is honestly rare for me to say, and maybe it's part due to his accent, but he's talking too fast for me.
Yeah, the speed.
It's like you can call me a racist, but it's sort of like that ghetto language.
And I have when I see interviews with Ben Shapiro, I still have them on higher speed. But this guy, I can't understand. I can't follow.
Well, because I used to talk like that when I was in high school. You know, like, hey, yo, what's up, yo? And it's just this.
That's what it feels
like. He's grown out of it.
That's what he feels like. He's like 14 or 15, but he's probably much older, and he's never matured. He hasn't read a book to think, hey, how do people talk in university or college or to adults
or in a job
or at a you don't start getting
yo dog
hook me up with a job,
studies, academics in quotation marks they do talk like him.
Whoa.
They have this they talk street slang.
Oh my god.
And if they could, they'd write their papers in pidgin.
And it's not okay. Any race can talk like that. Okay, I've hung out with a bunch of Mexicans and whiteys. They go, "Oh, what's up, yo, dog? Huh?" It's not specific to one race.
Yeah,
it's just this weird
I don't know if you're familiar
hip-hop
with
culture or language
or
whatever.
It is hard to take serious though. It is like okay.
Yeah, Smart. I don't know if you're familiar with it, but look up BBC Pidgin.
All right.
What's safe search on?
But you write it Pidgin, Pidgin.
What?
Look it up.
Pidgin?
Right now.
No. I'll get there. Don't worry. All the recommendations I'm writing down, so don't worry.
No, it's not a recommendation. Just it's relevant to the stream, to the slang.
Do I really need to do a search on grammar or phonetics or whatever?
I'm getting to my keyboard in a bit. I just need to.
All right, let me just keep going. Okay. Do it later. Here's Mike Testa. Again, don't you dare compare Oscar to that beast. Never. Okay. The way he was describing it, I was like, it sounded like Oscar the Grouch. Anyway, let's go.
If you think so, there might be a bit of a problem with you just saying, not calling the anti-black per se, but if you somehow have a problem with kids learning about racism and not like...
Wow, teaching kids about racism. What a great idea. Holy crap. I might I might have a problem.
Are not racist.
When the hell... I don't remember ever asking my parents about Timmy being black or Johnny being different colors.
I know, right?
I don't remember that at all. It's never a problem that came up in my brain or my life.
Look, if you have to teach your kid to not be a racist, to not be a rapist, to not be a killer, I think, Houston, we have a problem.
Are you? Yeah, if you need to actively teach your kid that, and your kid might be a psychopath at some point, and maybe you should keep your kid in a mental institution. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I don't know what to tell you, bro.
Remember that meme with the adult trying to chum around with kids, like from that show? I can't remember the show. Like, is this?
How do you do, fellow kids?
Yeah, is this sort of?
Oh yeah.
These adults' way of thinking and getting along with children because they can't understand them, but to do so, they're teaching them what they think is relevant because they're crazy. This is just their way of doing it through cartoons. Hello, fellow kids. Watch this cartoon. It's so cool. Look, don't you like the colors? They're great. Also, racism is bad. Like, what?
I mean, do you ever sit down with your kid and go, hey, how was your day at school today? Huh? You talk about sex, you talk about drugs, you talk about violence.
Yeah, let's go down the list.
What kid wants to talk about that shit?
Oh, God.
Like, dude, you're creeping me out. I just want to go play video games or something.
Yeah, I want to do my homework and go play some games and have some fun. Here's Tyler Preston. Steven Universe isn't the only show that has adults drawn as kids. Just look up the show Big Mouth. Not only is sexualizing children, the characters are just ugly.
You can't tell me that Big Mouth wasn't made by pedophiles for pedophiles.
Oh,
I do not
okay.
Is
believe
Big Mouth
anything
really
else.
that bad?
Okay.
Oh my god, dude.
Watch it.
It's just incredibly
if you-
unfunny. I would just say. I would leave it at that.
Judge by yourself. I'm not gonna watch that
Let's-
stuff again. It's giving me
I
nightmares.
know.
It's like it has like a horrible design.
I know-
Like you just like look at the character design and you just want to vomit.
I understand that Wisp's understanding of psychology is a bit different than the rest of us, probably a little more well-read. But let's not speculate. Let's not imply...
No. With Big Mouth, watch it. Watch it and tell me you draw any other conclusion.
Okay, all right. That's enough. That's enough to talk about.
You'll be calling Chris Hansen. Have a
Let's
seat right here.
let's focus on the video and not go off topic like that. Okay. Whew.
And I can already
Sexual
tell this
assault.
guy he's gonna start going, oh, you're racist if you don't like this message.
Yeah, clearly I hate the blacks and the gays.
Yeah.
I'm full of hate.
And drugs,
Angry little
then
man.
I don't know what other conclusion you want me to come up with. You might be saying
Wow.
even after all...
You have no other conclusion for the rest of humanity if they don't think a certain way. That's great. Thanks, Joe.
There were
Yeah,
some other
yeah,
people
especially-
who had like
yeah.
that idea as well. And
Yeah,
Thanks for
especially
admitting that
black
you're
people that are
dogmatic
against it. Yeah.
religious
I guess
zealot.
they're anti-black now.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Thanks
Jesus
for
Christ,
being
this guy's a
so
moron.
understanding and diverse in your appreciation of humanity, there, Joe. I'm sure you're a very nice person.
Yeah, I mean,
You admitted to being a preacher of a religion that says, my religion good, everything else bad. Anyone outside the cult bad. Either convert them or kill them. That's where it leads to in the end.
I'm so tolerant.
Hey,
I can't believe another thought that could enter your brain. I can't. My logical hemisphere is just not working right now. I can't figure this out.
no, but he said earlier, oh, it's good to teach you, be tolerant of others. And it's amazing that he can't do that.
Anyway,
of what I said, that no one's actually mad about this, and I'm making a nothing into a something. But would you listen to this nigga?
So, yes, we are all supposed to see each other.
did he just call a Jewish man a nigger? What?
Yes, he called Ben Shapiro a nigger. Oh, boy.
Jesus, man.
Dare I say it?
Oh, God.
are we being
Ben
taught
Shapiro.
racism by a racist, or is it anti-racism by a racist? What's the term? Was it?
Yeah, I thought you're not supposed to use the N-word.
So-
You're going to be anti-racist.
So let's be mean to the Jews.
Oh no, if you're non-racist, but if you're anti-racist, you must use it.
Oh, yeah, Ben Shapiro's a Jew, right?
Yes.
Yes.
He even wears the cap.
The Jew
I know.
cap.
I feel like it's part of his head, so I just keep thinking he just has like
No,
bad
it's not
hair.
part of his head.
I forget because I'm always listening, not watching, and I don't listen to him that often.
It's like Jotaro's like anime hair and hat combined
I wouldn't
together.
go that far.
It's always there. It's part of his body.
Yeah, it's actually how Jewish hair does grow.
Never-
It comes out in various colors and
Yeah.
patterns,
It never
but
messes.
just on that little part on the back of your head.
It never
Just
messes
that.
up. Jotaro's hair is always the same.
It's a genetic condition. Okay, don't discriminate.
Oh, okay.
All right, let's listen to what Mr. Shapiro has to say.
As people of different colors whose experiences are completely non-understandable. Instead, I have to listen and believe because, you see, I see color. So I'm an anti-racist, which means I have to listen and believe whatever you say in order to destroy the systems of power. Yeah, you wonder why people feel like they're under assault and indoctrinating kids into overtly racist garbage.
That's not what this is about. How is explaining to kids how not to be racist exactly?
Because
you're not explaining them how to not be racist. You're telling them how to be racist, just in another fashion.
You're implying that there's a certain race that you think is more important than the others because they were bad.
Oh, and I love that
or they felt bad, or someone treated them badly in the past. Therefore, you have to uplift them.
Yeah,
my
and at the same
favorite
time,
would
you're
be
telling
like
them that there's an
apply like a
evil
test.
race that needs to be taken down.
And I love that he like cherry picked what, because I don't think that's the whole sentence. I think he had
No. He
cut it out.
heavily edited that shit. Like,
Yes.
definitely edited. But the other thing is like it
Shapiro's
could be
take
like
on
a
this is actually
replicant
good.
test, like from like what was that, Blade Runner? Yeah. But instead, like it would be like a race test that like you ask them that like, hey, can a white person be racist towards like other races? Yes. And like, can a black person be racist towards other races? And if like they like stuck, then you know like what you're dealing with.
Yep.
We're at the
like-
point where they
It's
say
simple,
when
yes.
they say when there's black on black crime, that's white people's fault.
And
When
it's
black
not
people are
really
taking
important.
Asians, that's white people's fault. That's the anti-racist logic. So how is
Nobody-
that not racist? Tell me how that
And
is
they
not
don't-
racist.
I don't know.
With a sane brain, without having to add more ideological mental gymnastics in order to make it work, but just as a plain brain that just looks at the world and thinks about it without any twisting, any warping.
Yeah, there's never
Just
any
look at it and say,
accountability.
This person says this race has to be treated this way and this race has to be treated that way. That's racist. End of story.
Yeah.
Here's Mike Testa. Ben is like a car. That's where the fuel goes. What? That's where the fuel goes.
What?
Is hat. You're telling me what? That does not make any sense.
Big brain
That's
time.
If you take off Ben Shapiro's keeper, that's where you put in the nozzle for the fuel from the gas
For the
station.
petrol. Okay, all right.
Yeah.
That must be very
Jesus
expensive, though.
Christ.
Except instead of petrol, it's Jesus.
Jesus.
Delicious. Here's Mike Testa. The hole under where the cap. Yeah, I get it. Thanks, Mike. Jesus.
Also, is it just me or like every like Jewish person seems to be balding around that point where they put
You know,
I believe that is why they wear it.
I do
Is that
That's why-
stress from
yeah.
all the penny pinching?
I do recall seeing
Just think about it from an. Yeah, go on.
I do recall seeing some men who were bald, and they tried their best to use the clip that attached to whatever hair they have left, and they just ended up using a standard string. So there's those guys
Yeah.
are serious. They take their religion seriously. They do not fool around. So,
Yes, they definitely are part of the Orthodox.
Yeah.
I would love to see
fine.
somebody like shave their head, except for like that Jewish cap part. So it looks like they're bald, and when they take off their Jew cap, it's like, oh, there's still hair. That'd be great.
But think about it. The Jews lived in the desert. You have very, very baking sun, and you're balding at that very spot. You want to put a cap on that.
Yeah, good idea.
Especially if you're low on resources, then you don't make a full cap. You just make the little one.
It seems like there's been a list and like clothing fashion that like they still want to like keep even in like Europe where it's like much colder than there. It seems to be like related to like the weather conditions that they originate from.
And this is just the Jewish faith, not the Catholic faith, where they actually had monks
Yes.
who cut their hair specifically in that shape.
Oh yes.
So
But they make
and that's
excellent
a bit
cheese
more
online.
extreme, because the that's called a tonsur. That is supposed
Yes.
to resemble a halo.
yes, exactly. Anyway, cool stuff. Let's get back to the video.
Watch this cartoon public service announcement about why a term is inherently flawed and got that your rights and freedoms are going to be taken away from it. Who
You're already
fuck
doing
said
that.
anything about you not being able to
You're-
assess whether someone
the
is
people
wrong
doing that.
because of their race? Who's under assault? Who's under attack, nigga? They just
The kids.
Yeah, the kids.
Everyone.
Oh
You're telling
my
you're
God.
telling the white kids that they're bad because of their race.
Yeah.
That
Why
they
did you say
can't.
I've brought it up before. Black Lives Matter. 5 years ago, kidnapped a white kid, severely disabled kid, tortured it because it's white to get back at white people. That's where we are.
Yep, it's getting
That's
worse.
because of your ideology. It's because of your so-called anti-racism.
Yeah, you're breeding more racism. That's the irony of it all.
Yeah, and you will get a reaction out of this because people will not take this forever. And when you have,
they're getting tired of it, and that's why you see these weirdos that go like far off the deep end.
Yeah, and right now, you are the bully who keeps beating on your target, and and eventually, no matter how long you keep telling the target, don't fight back against your bully, don't defend yourself against your bully, because then you would be just as bad as the bully makes you out to be, or just as bad as the bully. Eventually, the kid that you target, that you keep beating up, will snap. When that kid snaps, that kid won't hold back anymore.
Strange, because
that kid will go for your throat.
Apparently likes art. He apparently likes this show or whatever. And he's advocating for PSAs because they teach you other things. This is okay. If I were to, I don't know, have a foreword or a section by the author of a book, I would appreciate that. It's like, yeah, that's cool. He's talking about what happened. At the same time, there are bad forewords. There are bad anecdotes or sections at the end of a book or on the back or cover or reviews that
never read the books back
which
or
are
the side the lid on the side of it,
which are
those
horrible.
are always horrible.
I
don't remember a single one that I liked that was good. I only read them after I read the book just to cringe laugh about how I was right that it's just again bad and misrepresents the content of the book.
I was just using the book as an example because I'm trying to compare a PSA to something else to say that, these other things which are there to read usually aren't very good. And if you need a PSA in your story, there's something wrong with your story. Someone complained. Someone said, wait a second, this is not for the right demographic, or we need to teach our kids something because this didn't teach us anything. And if you're looking at Steven Universe and going, I like Steven Universe, wait, we need to talk more about communism or whatever. You're like, why didn't you do that in the story? And I know Wis brought this up as well. You don't need PSAs if you have a good story. You don't need Orson Scott Card to flagellate how awesome he is and how hard his life was before he wrote Ender's Game or whatever. You don't need all this crap. Write a good story. Teach us something in an interesting... like if you had the premise of teaching us as a story and then entertaining us as a secondary element, okay, might not be as interesting, but that would be the point. If you want to first get me into the book, hook me in, and then teach me killing people is bad, oh, great. Do it in an interesting way. Do it in a fun way, entertaining way, dramatic way, etc., etc. You don't need anything else.
Like, okay, you learn a lesson from a PSA. Is that really going to stick with your brain for like 15 years from now?
If it's horrible, yes, but that's because it's so funny. Like, think about this idea that the show is so bad. The show failed so hard to do what it's supposed to do, apparently. I don't know what Steven Universe is about, and I don't care. That this guy is going, it'd be great if they just had a bunch of guys in a meta way talk about, in the director's chair, racism is bad. It's like, what? No, that's a horrible show. That should be in the show. I don't need Captain Picard at the end of season 1 of that crazy Tasha Yar episode where she's fighting that black woman with the spiked poisoned gauntlet. That racism is bad.
What? That show was awesome. That episode was awesome. They should have never distanced themselves from it.
Just watch Breaking Bad, drugs are bad for you.
Like, we don't need
Tasha Yar. Every episode ended with a PSA of like, hey kids, don't do meth.
Jesse, drugs are bad.
Like, we don't need
why, bitch?
Patrick Stewart, Jonathan Frakes, Denise Crosby to sit there on the guys in this show. We talked about drugs and racism, and we don't need that. It's insulting. It's stupid. It's unnecessary. I don't want that stupid hyperbolic, overly drama. In my life, I was an actor, and at 17 years old, I did drugs, and I don't care. Whatever.
I would love if The Dark Knight had a PSA at the end. Gordon would just ramble off about how systemic racism is bad, and Batman just comes in. He's like, "Don't be a racist."
Where are
the credits show?
Oh, with that TNG episode, there's something that irks me about it. That is, they distance themselves from it, and everybody criticizes it, including Red Letter Media, because that episode was so racist. No, I don't think it really was.
It was not that bad.
The main problem I have with that episode is it's a complete break of the Prime Directive, as if that thing hadn't been written out yet.
Tasha Yar just goes along with this stupid challenge. And you're like,
but the whole thing was that race, that species of people, of humanoids.
Yeah.
Did not seem to have any space travel or any remote level of the technology that the Federation had.
The
Federation should have never contacted them.
They could have teleported everyone out there and dealt with their issue, instantly. But no, let's have a weird mock battle of fighting for your king to be married, and it's like, what the hell is going on? Tasha, what are you doing? Like, stop, don't do this. There's no need.
Oh, you know what's funny about that? This weird hook claw with the spikes, with the instant kill poison.
Yeah, I was like, okay.
He keeps it in his apartment. He keeps the prop in his apartment, including when his son is in his apartment and keeps playing around with his weapons.
I remember Worf, when he was training the first season, he was training in the holodeck. He had this weird hook gauntlet. I was like, dude, what the hell is that giant thumb hook thing? Like, is that a weapon in Klingon? Like, what the hell? I've never seen it before in the entire series after that. So they just invent weapons and just forget about them. Like, it's like, Worf, use a sword. I don't know, a stick. No, this gauntlet spike thing on my thumb is awesome. Like, okay.
Okay. At least the butlet is fun, because I think it was when Shadiversity criticized it as, this is a stupid weapon. You can't really fight with that. You hurt the detriment when you fight with it. Yeah, that's the law. The law was that Kales invented it to give himself a handicap against his foes, because fighting everyone was too easy because he was too powerful. So the thing is deliberately designed to be shit.
So if you guys don't know the name of the episode, that was Code of Honor. Not a great episode, but it's stupid for other reasons.
Dang.
Anyway.
With a badass title, you'd think it'd be a good episode.
Yeah, I know. There's lots of silly episodes with dumb titles. Mike Testa, the show has no tension at all. It's very boring. I don't watch it, guys. It doesn't seem interesting to me. John Doe, the Average Joe. Veggie Tales teaches children a moral lesson and fun story without lecturing too hard with its Christian background. They got it right. Take notes, CN. I've never heard of Veggie Tales.
Yeah.
I heard of that. I
used
never
to watch
watched
it.
any. I can't judge it.
Yeah,
It's a long time ago.
You don't know what VeggieTales is. What?
Well, the main thing to take away from that is it doesn't preach, despite being a Catholic or Christian inspired show. So,
well, if that's true, then yeah, I guess I never noticed it.
See, the
We're
best
at the point
lessons.
where Christian cartoons are less propaganda than any others.
Some are pretty bad, but yeah, it's possible. So the best lessons in stories aren't preachy at all. They're just sort of picked up naturally. Isn't that amazing? You're not even aware of it.
I'd say. Oh, I remembered something. I think because I rewatched a bit of it and it was just so unbearable. I didn't notice it as a kid, and that is a cartoon that is less of a cartoon and just 20 minutes of PSA. That was Captain Planet. If you rewatch that now, you will see that every episode, or probably almost every episode, is 20 minutes preaching social justice, environmentalism, the bad environmentalism propaganda. Like humans bad, and we shouldn't have kids because kids in Africa use less resources than we do, and we're so wasteful. It goes all throughout the thing. It never stops, and there's all the feminists' arguments, like don't say anything, don't approach, always be cautious, but so basically let the woman decide everything, and it's all throughout the show. It doesn't stop. It's 20 minutes PSA.
Yeah.
Probably some better episodes, but I remember one that I actually did like, or at least the way I remember it, was the one where the American kid with the fire ring had an opportunity to go back in time and reject the ring, and that made showed him a future or an alternative present where the world had turned to shit. And everybody of the team, the other four kids, were doing their little things that they could with their elemental power rings, but it wasn't a lot. Like the African guy was planting some trees, but that was all he could do. He couldn't really fight off the destruction of the rainforest or anything. He could just plant a few trees, and because they could never summon Captain Planet because the fire ring was missing, and also with the message that because you rejected the opportunity and the responsibility of that power.
Mm-hmm.
That's why the world is shit now, because you ran away. And that is okay. That's an okay message. But some of the others are just absolutely brain melting shit. That, like, telling a kid that having kids is bad. Like that's just horrible.
Here's Mike Testa. They made Lou Pickles a hippie, and Jonathan Latin X. Mike, what are you talking about?
Rugrats.
Yeah, Rugrats would be Lou Pickles, but
is that what the Rugrats?
I don't know. What's going on?
Oh yeah, they made a remake recently.
Oh, a remake. Okay.
Oh, god damn it.
Anyway,
again.
let's not talk about that, because that's
He's not gonna be talking about lonely space vixens anymore.
Oh god.
Okay.
No, we gotta talk about baby's gotta talk about systemic racism.
All right, fine, let's go.
I don't know about
that
systemic
their experiences
racism,
are
but you
different
should.
like you would with any other person. This is what I was talking about when I said miss the point. If anything, fuck the positions of power. I don't give a shit about them old decrepit ass dying niggas. Some people hear this.
Wow, okay.
I don't care
so
about
you
some
don't give a shit
old
about old
decrepit
people.
ass.
I don't care
dying
about them old niggas.
And you show an old white man. Okay, yeah, you don't give a shit about old people, especially when they have to.
You're cool, bro. You're cool.
What?
So
I hope when you get old, I hope nobody cares for
is
you.
this ageism again? They seem to not like old people. I don't know why. Old
Because
people are great.
in the that's simple. Because in the social justice hierarchy, old people are oppressors and young people are oppressed.
Yeah, the old people, all that energy to oppress people.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
You're getting
Because
good
old
passion.
people know better all the time. How dare
You
they?
young wind snapper or whatever the hell they say.
I'm 16 years old. I have the world figured out. How dare you tell me what to do?
Yeah.
Jesus, I wonder if this guy respects his parents.
I'm sure when he gets to that age, I'm sure he'll live a nice, ripe old life. He'll
like, if your parents are bad, fine, whatever. But if they were good to you, like,
If
I
by
don't know why
ripe
you'd
you
be
mean
talking like
rotten,
that.
then sure.
he'll have a certain change of karmic fate. That goes, oh, I'm old now. I gotta think about what I said, if he can even remember what he says after his YouTube channel is done with. But
Yeah, it's like the Swedish professor
I'd
who
be
said
embarrassed
everybody
for
should
him.
die at a certain age, and when he got closer to that age, he said, maybe a few years later. Everybody should die 10 years later than I said before, because
I can't.
he doesn't want
I can't
to be
imagine.
Well, I think it's
doesn't want to be canned.
Well, I think it's funny because, okay, so he thinks everyone that's against those messages are just old, old niggas, right?
Well, I can't really think that an old person would endorse any of this crap because they know better. But if they did, they'd be pretty eccentric to talk to. Like,
And their parents, what are you talking about? This guy's an asshole.
Like, they would have an opinion, at least for my generation, would have an opinion on cartoons and PSAs, and they're silly, they're stupid, they're for fun, they're not taken seriously. They're a bunch of overprotective parents at the time that just devolved into this ridiculous political crap. So they would be smart enough to go, yeah, you don't need this. Just raise your kids. Have fun. Play games with your kids. Go outside a little bit. Whatever.
Yeah.
Play in the mud.
Buy them some boots, so they can play in the mud. There you go.
Play in the mud.
God, if it's snowing outside, the kids just want to play in the snow.
Yeah.
They don't want to talk about how systemic racism in the snow because it's white or whatever. Come on, like.
And honestly, I don't know about systemic racism, but this is certainly systematic racism because it's deliberate. The whole thing about systemic racism is that that's a system that just is. It's just there, and we are helpless towards it. Like it's a passive thing. But systematic is an active thing. That's something that's built and constructed. And they are being systematically racist. They are constructing a racist way to behave, a mechanic, and they justify it with, well, there's this passive racist thing that so we have to be active against that, and we have to do the opposite of the thing that we allege is there. But the thing that they allege is there is just a phantom they made up. It's a straw man.
What black people are oppressed? Okay, you look at the NFL, sports in general. You look at the hip hop music industry. You look at the Hollywood entertainment. What do you mean they're oppressed? I went to a hospital. I saw black doctors. It's like, they're oppressed, really?
Yes, they want to be is just as white as us.
Yeah, okay.
I have to work to get any recognition and a better pay and stuff. That's oppressive.
Here's.
I guess they're sorry.
Let's just keep going. Here's my test. OKKO is the Santan spawn of PSA hell. Santana?
I can't help you with that.
Satanic.
So you talking about the show Spawn?
The guitarist?
You mean Satan. You just mean Satan.
You mean Satan? He misspells words. I don't know if it's intentionally.
I don't know what you mean with KO.
It's probably not Santana. Okay.
I really like Santana. I don't know. Maybe Mike works in mysterious ways. We don't know.
Santana is inside me.
Sultana raisins, delicious.
It's a quote from JoJo.
Isn't everything? Anyway, let's keep going.
And it completely missed the point. If the thought of shaping kids out of inherently flawed ideologies makes you quake in your boots,
like you,
you have a flawed ideology. You.
Let's be honest.
Twisting them into a flawed ideology.
Let's be clear.
You want to twist the kids of other people into your twisted ideology, just like a fundamentalist Christian cartoon or like a chick tract.
I would argue.
Yeah, I think that's a better comparison.
I would.
All these SJW messages and cartoons and indoctrination PSAs, they're chick tracts.
I would argue that every ideology is compromised until reality comes to it. So everything you have, like I think everything in the world is shit, and then I find something that isn't shit. Well, then I guess I'm wrong. So then I have to think with numerically speaking, or through chance or reason or something else to amend my ideology, because reality keeps changing. It keeps telling me other things that I wasn't expecting. So every ideology, it's just a concept in your head until reality says, no, here's truth. So even if I have a hardcore stoic ideology, which is fairly accurate most of the time, I'll be surprised. I'll find something which, maybe I should throw caution to the wind once in a while. Maybe I should spend more or have more fun or have that second beer or whatever the case is. Maybe I should live a little. Not in general, but once in a while. When you're on vacation, when you feel safe, when you know life is okay. You can go back to thinking that, stoicism is important and healthy and you should express your emotion all the time. Because there are some negative things out there you have to deal with, and it does pop up again very, very quickly. So, anyway, ideology exists to be compromised, I think. Nothing lasts mentally forever, and it's some sort of ironclad rule.
In the chat, Sofa King Immature asks, when was racism an ideology? And that's a good question to bring up, because racism is not an ideology.
You could argue
it's a tool.
It's a lifestyle.
It's
expression. It's an extremist variant of these people are different. I'm suspicious of them.
Right.
And then that gets amplified with lots of bad experiences that then may lead to teaching others about, hey, I've made only bad experiences with these types of people. Be wary of them.
We're talking about
gets more extreme by the iteration.
The reaction of the unknown that we think is similar. So we see people, they're weird to us. Everyone's weird to us. Even our own people, our own friends, our own loved ones are weird to us. And we don't know how to...
People in the next village are weird.
Everyone's weird.
Holy shit. And we should shoot fire arrows from our village into theirs.
And we don't know how to react, so we start making generalizations. We start putting people in boxes, and some of those boxes are helpful, some of them aren't. And that's all it is. And then you just take extremes of that in certain examples, like, oh, I saw a bunch of crazy lady Asian women driving that cut me off, and they nearly got me killed. And like, oh my God. Like, that's how it starts. Now, that could be a stereotype. And that could be accurate, but that's all it is. It's just a stereotype. It's just a series of anecdotes.
But stereotypes are bad.
Sometimes. Yeah. Sometimes they're accurate. And then you go, okay, well, what do I use in this case? So you really have to accept reality, what is teaching you, and how your ideology has to be compromised, how it has to be amended, how you have to take it as it comes.
Yeah.
So...
Right.
I will say, oh, there's another Asian female driver going crazy, but she's abiding by the speed limit, so it's okay.
Oh, and I love how this is just done in this very, very grounded, realistic fashion in the beginning of the Wheel of Time book series.
Oh yeah.
Where it's a very insular country that's surrounded by a mountainside on one side and two raging rivers on the others. It's called the Two Rivers, and so there's a bunch of villages there. It's very rural. It's basic. It's a human version that's not as idyllic as the Shire in Lord of the Rings. And the people there think that the people who live at the border, where you get over one of the rivers, over a bridge into the other country, into the next country, the people in that little town, they're weird. They're already really weird, and you can't trust them because they're weird. And the next town after that, that's an actual town of a relevant size. But the people in those villages already can't imagine even the size of that town that is beyond the river. It's already in the next country. They say those people are really strange. Like that you have no idea what's going on there. Don't trust anyone. They're not even practicing our festivals. Like we don't. They're criminals, and they will trick you and everything. And this is the basis of it. It's just, we don't know these people. There are a lot of strangers, and strangers will probably screw you.
Yeah.
And the further away they are, the more likely they're going to screw you, because they know that you don't know what's going on in their little culture. And that can just be 3 towns away, especially in those olden days. And it's probably the same in Africa, where in not very developed places, or even China, there's a lot of not developed places as well, that you just get a few villages away, and people will know that you are not part of this little place, and they won't trust you either, because you're not from here.
All right.
Racism is just an extrapolation of all of that.
Here is Mike Testa one more time. Satan... and it crosses over with Captain Planet. Okay, he's explaining the previous super chat.
That would be great.
I still don't get it.
Don't worry.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's Mike Testa. It's fine. It's okay. No one really gets Mike Testa. All right. let's back to Joe.
You are the problem. But at the same time, political, nonsensical dribble aside, let's be honest. This always is just the more complicated version of I hate modern cartoons. People every day on Twitter, my comments, or just anywhere express how much they hate modern animation and proceed to generalize it in the worst possible way and find anything to talk about when it comes to the subject. And it becomes like blatantly obvious.
Okay, if you find anything to talk about and you're specifically talking about the cartoon you're analyzing, what's wrong with that? You could find problems with the story, the
everything.
Art, the voice acting, the topic. Yeah, what's wrong with that? And then you say,
just look at this frame right now, like how inconsistent it is, like the car and like the bed.
There's no shadows, like what you were talking about.
Yeah, she has no shadows.
Like the characters have no shadows, but like everything else is shadows.
Steven
like
has no shadows,
right?
Probably like the characters and like the background was
the amplifier has no shadow. Like this is so dumb. Like what's the point? Like
characters don't have shading either, I think.
Wait a second. If the amplifier has shadow, look at the shadow and direction of the shadow. Little. Then look at the direction of the shadow of the bed or whatever the chair he's on.
Yeah.
It's way off.
Yeah. Yeah.
The drink. See where the drink is? The next to him, the other amplifier.
Yes.
Compare that to the door. It looks like the door is 2-dimensional. It has no depth, and I don't. And the drink is just sort of plastered on there. It is awkward. Everything looks bad.
You know what's weird about this is that like they apparently like shipped this to like Korea to animate it. So like they have the extra effort that like they pay like some Asian studio to animate them this shit because like they just like. Well, it's for speed, of course, but like just can't like do it like that.
Rebecca Sugar didn't even provide him with consistent character. What do you call it? Character sheets.
Character sheets.
And so they just got the storyboards, and in the storyboards, Steven looks different in everything. So he's differently drawn by Rebecca Sugar in the storyboards, and so there are episodes where in one he looks like Dexter from Dexter's Lab, and the other he looks like this, and another he's really fat. And there's no consistency.
Yeah.
There's no consistency because Rebecca Sugar couldn't even be asked to make a consistent character sheet.
And she's the keyframer, or she's the main artist?
She's the inventor of this.
She's the creator, yeah.
So she gave bad artwork to the keyframer, and the keyframer was like, "Oh shit, what do I do?"
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, normally you have. I right now I can't recall what they're called, but normally when you do cartoons or anime or anything, you have reference sheets that show you how does character look, what are the proportions, what are the details, what expressions does this character make, how do those expressions look, what are the faces I do, how does this character look, happy, angry, whatnot, and you do this for every character. And she didn't do this for Steven Universe. She just sent them storyboard sheets with her scribblings, and they all look inconsistent. That's why all the episodes look different.
That's the weird thing about it, because like she's supposedly like senior like member of like this industry. So like you would like expect her to be like a professional at like a fucking like storyboard. God damn. Like you don't have to like animate the entire thing yourself. Like just like create like a reference image of Steven. But like even that is like impossible, it seems.
All right. Anyway.
Well, I just thought it was funny that he really hates when people generalize. And what did he just do just a minute ago?
I see nothing wrong with someone having an accurate conversation about anything when they reference stuff. So if he can't pick one apart and say this is a bad example, then you're wasting our time. You're just saying, I don't like it when people say stuff about stuff they don't understand. I don't need to be an expert at animation or storytelling or coloring to know that something about this looks weird.
Not even kids.
Like perspective, shading, color balance, everything's sort of glossy. I don't know. Some stuff is darkened outline, some of it isn't. like cell shit. I would say cell shit, but not even that. I think that's the idea. But no, it's just everything feels off, especially when the color palette is freaking pastel, bright everything. I can't tell what the sand's supposed to be like, how that works with the ocean. I don't know. Anyway, it's not important.
That they don't know what the hell they're talking about. Whether it be boom, modern cartoons look horrible, or boom, modern cartoons encourage forced diversity, or boom, they're pushing these radical views on little kids at an early age. As if they haven't been doing that with other serious subjects. And
no, they didn't.
Okay, they weren't though. Oh shit, I'm sorry, my bad.
Yeah, Sonic wasn't teaching kids to be gay and invent pronouns for them made up genders.
They weren't teaching them how to use social media and how you can be responsible about it. What the hell is he talking about?
You're comparing apples to toasters.
That's funny.
No, I think like he's like comparing like a cold to like a type 2 diabetes. That's how I see it. Like because like both PSAs were like crap, like essentially. But like the PSAs from the 90s, like at least like were like had like good intentions, but like the current ones like seem to be like more about like something that's like
it's more about
coming
social...
from like a political aspect.
It's political identity issues, social justice issues. It's not even about like values or like real good value.
Yeah, it's
you're supposed to be ashamed if you're this color, or you have to respect someone's pronouns.
Yeah, and honestly,
it's not about not doing drugs.
Yeah, and teaching a kid to be ashamed of a certain immutable attribute, like your skin color, or anything else, or your height. That is child abuse. Teaching a kid to be ashamed because of something the kid can't change, that's child abuse.
Exactly.
And if I think about it, if we just remove what messages any of these things are about, the old ones and this propaganda shit here. PSAs, I would say, are the product, in either case, of Oedipal tyrants. People who want to control children, whether the message is good or bad doesn't matter. But they want to tell kids how to behave instead of leaving it to the parents.
Now, we can make the argument that kids' shows could teach certain lessons if that is the point of those shows. Some shows are designed that way, but I would not argue the stuff from G.I. Joe or even Steven Universe is made to teach kids anything. It's just to have a fun, cool show where crazy stuff happens and it's exciting and fun to watch. Other shows, like for 4-year-olds and 5-year-olds, maybe, yeah, they're teaching them how to sing and dance and the alphabet and numbers and colors and patterns. That's exactly what you're supposed to be doing. And
every time you count to 7, you have to laugh like mad with lightning coming down in the background.
Whatever, yeah, fun stuff. Like that would be the point, to teach kids from that age, and then off you go. If you want to teach kids, and we've been doing this for thousands of years, to make them scared of something, or to make them be aware of something, or to respect something, you do it in the form of a parable or a nursery rhyme or whatever. And you can make an animated show about that, and then you're just telling a story. And that's all you do.
Could you imagine a nursery rhyme of being anti-racist?
Oh, God.
Yes, but, there's ways to do it. It wouldn't be anti-racist.
Sure,
it would, yeah. When you say anti-racist, I immediately think of a retarded idea that you could then make into a poem, which would be stupid. But you can make anything into a poem. But what I'm saying is there are better ways to teach kids in the realm of, or the focus where the focus is entertainment. You don't do it this way. So PSAs, by their nature, are unnecessary and tacked on because of a bunch of crazy adults we have to think of the children or else they're going to grow up to be He-Man and kill people with swords. It's like, no, they're not. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, I'd say it's the epitome of propaganda.
It is.
Always
it is
the
up
parents
there.
are offended.
Well, I know we talk when Liz was talking about the 80s and the religious right or whatever they were called, and all the backwards music by was it Frank Zappa and his tunes and whatever. You have to go to Congress and argue against that stuff. All these obnoxious, silly mothers and whatever pastors that thought this crap. They were Satanists or this. It's like, this is dumb. This is not true.
Yeah,
grow out of this mindset. Yeah, it's the same. It's the same thing now. Only it's political left doing it. So PSAs suck. They always have. They're good for memes. They're funny and hilarious. And everyone should go search all the G.I. Joe PSAs. They're the best.
Yeah.
Not the originals.
They do that now.
That's the only worth, and sadly, that's not the only effect they have.
Yeah. Anyway.
When they're bad, it's yeah.
Let's keep going. Mike Testa, he can't handle Steven Universe being boring. Haha. I don't know. Maybe he's never watched it. I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah. No, I bet he's obsessed with Steven Universe.
He's oddly obsessed, yeah.
Yeah. However, I can tell you that there are some of these cartoons that are coming out right now. I had greater anticipation as a kid for counting to 7, because that's when the lightning came, than any of these cartoons right now. Count is more engaging, even though he always makes the same joke. But that's good for children.
Yeah, no, all the kid shows, like even the anime kid shows, are fun. They're really entertaining.
Yeah. There's a really cute one about the Egyptian gods.
Really?
It's just like 8-minute episodes or something.
Oh, cool.
And it's with the Egyptian gods, but with in Japanese society, and they just do these things, and Busted just because she's a cat, she keeps appearing in cupboards randomly and.
See, I
makes a mess.
I love the themed cartoons. Like, I don't know if you guys, I said it before, but the one called Onpon Man, which is a superhero story, but for kids, and it's all about his friends being superheroes as well, and they all have powers. And he's bread. He's a piece of bread, and so is all his friends. They all have different qualities, except for a dog. I don't know what the dog is doing there, but there's.
I think it's. I'll just look up the title. What the hell?
It's great.
All right, it's Totots ni Egypt Kami.
That sounds Japanese.
That's it's really cute, and the what baffled me was I forgot the name. They even have the god in it that is just this ghost figure with the laser eyes that many others are based upon. Forgot its name.
So the Sphinx, the cat, the jackal, all those crazy.
Look up the. It's a really cool style for how the gods are drawn.
Oh, they look great. That's so cool. Yeah. That's
amazing. And they're all super cute and super cute stories.
It's like 3 colors, like gold, white, and black, and they're just animated so cleanly.
Yeah, and they're all and it's this slow Japanese humor that it's just nice to watch, especially on a hot day.
See if I can bring it up.
This is good stuff.
Oh, I like it's, the backgrounds are colorful, but everything is just like white, black, and gold.
Yeah,
the characters
the backgrounds are normal, but the characters are just these like they're living hieroglyphs.
It's a falcon, but it looks like a penguin.
Mm-hmm.
There's a god of destruction, but it's Horus. He's just this little guy.
Yeah,
it's cute. No, this is great. Ra, the sun god, he's got this silly little headdress thing. It's like another penguin. That's cute. All right. Anyway.
Yeah, watch it. It's great.
Cute things are bad though.
Yeah, it's Totots ni Egypt Kami.
All right. Alex Halo. Hey, Alex. Show them Fate Zero instead. Holy shit, no. They will learn more from it than any modern Western show, and probably traumatize them less. Oh boy.
Is that an anime?
That is a heavy-duty, action-packed anime with amazing animation. So, I don't know.
I think you can learn better morals from Dragon Ball than from
sure.
any of the Steven Universe crap.
But would they learn from it really?
It'll take them a
Stand
while.
up for your friends. But Dragon Ball is essentially power of friendship.
It is, yeah, but it takes a while to get there because Yamcha and whatever is always busy with the second boss.
Well, it's also a lot of villain turns friend. That's a lot in there.
Part of that.
That's Yamcha. That's Oolong. Who else? Krillin.
Almost everyone.
Also was an antagonist for a short while. Bulma was
like the only character that
beginning.
like just pure-heartedly like said like Goku, let's be friends, and like
almost everyone was a villain at some point. Piccolo, of course, was a villain. He turned into a friend in a way,
which is a good way of describing martial arts because everything's physical. But once you figure it out, once you get that over with, you're like, oh, I can understand you now. After we beat the shit out of each other, it's like, oh yeah, we could stop trying to kill each other and learn from each other. It's like, oh yeah, we could.
That's how boys resolve conflict.
Yeah. We didn't die, therefore we're friends. Okay. All right.
At least that works for good people. Bad people stay villains even after you beat them.
Depends on the villains. Yeah, that's right.
I think that's the difference.
Here's Fate Zero. Here's Alex Halo talking about Fate Zero again. It will teach them not to go with strangers. Oh God.
That's an important lesson.
When Iskander wants to conquer the world again.
That's a great point. That's a great point because all the SJW shows seem to teach every stranger is a good person.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely every stranger, no matter how psychopathic and genocidal, can become a good person. Will become a good person. Trust everyone.
That's weird.
Why the grape rate increases.
That's weird. Okay. I mean, sure, but it's still very weird to me. All right, less than 2 minutes. Do it. Let's go.
Being uncomfortable. I mean, one of things changing, seeing as they can be nostalgic for the entertainment they grew up with, and using that as an escape when it comes to getting away from the ever-changing existence that we have. It's escapism. And two, they're afraid of having to actually think about issues that don't affect them personally. You know,
if it's escapism, why are you teaching people morals?
Yeah, you can't. Yeah. Oh my God, this guy's. Oh.
Propaganda is the opposite of escapism. Preaching is the opposite of escapism.
Yeah, that's not it. This guy is an idiot.
Being forced to think about something is the opposite of escapism. Escapism is, I'm going to do something fun now. What you're telling people is, stop having fun, think about this thing I'm telling you how to think.
Yeah, kids, they just want to watch Pokemon. They don't want to think about political issues.
Yeah, they want to see Team Rocket being blown into the sky again. They want to see Power Rangers fighting off big Godzilla robots.
Yeah.
I actually
take a sword.
I want to watch some giant creatures that are robots beat up other giant creatures that are robots.
There's a game you might like. Chroma Squad. It was heavily inspired by Power Rangers and other Sentai shows. Basically a homage to them. It's in pixel art, where you make your own Sentai show with transformation and robot stuff, and you have a crafting system for every show, and you make basically everything is staged. Everybody is just playing a role, but you are making a turn-based strategy game out of it on how to beat the enemies with combos and teamwork, teamwork combo attacks. And stuff like that. I think they got into a bit of a licensing issue because it was resembling the actual stuff too much. I think Saban took issue with that. The game has a few. I haven't played through the whole thing. I didn't get to it at the time. Back then, I'll play through it at some point. But it has a few of these woke moments in it. I'm not sure whether they're on the cheek, on the nose, or whether they're meant in earnest. They certainly read like they're on the nose. But yeah, it's a fun game. If you like the Sentai stuff and pixel art and strategy, check out Chroma Squad. Very fun game.
Okay, let's keep going.
issues that they can pretend just don't exist when using escapism to, well, escape. But the problem is that for a long while, because of the lack of inclusivity, what's escapism for them isn't really for others.
What?
The lack.
What did you just say?
The lack
What's
of inclusivity is escapism for them, but not others.
what does that mean?
Let's just keep going, because that doesn't make any sense.
Wait. He's showing a picture of, I think this is Thundercats, the early 2000s remake. Or at least it looks like it.
Let's just keep going.
Thing is, Thundercats is a great example of showing the whole race thing, because they're all different types of cats, and they're all working together as friends. That's an allegory. That's an allegory for different looking people, different races working together. That's the whole idea,
Which is
because they're all
inherently
taking different species of cats.
Which is inherently part of the design, and you don't have to preach that at all. It's just in the design. You just look at it.
Yeah, you just play it out. Yeah, and that's how you do it. That's how you do it right.
The same with Transformers. They're all different. They're all different cars. They're all different creatures. They're all different spiders and insects and birds or whatever. It's like, oh, this is cool.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
If you look into media to get away from the real world and still see that even in fiction you're not being acknowledged, that doesn't really help at all.
What do you mean? What is that? What are you trying to do?
Hold on. I can't. Oh,
I have no idea what
How
he's
did
trying
you-
to
talking a
say.
little too fast. What did he say?
I don't know. Let's go back.
Inclusivity,
blank
what's
out.
escapism for them isn't really for others. If you look into media to get away from the real world and still see that even in fiction you're not being acknowledged, that doesn't...
Okay, so this is
You
what
are
he's
not
saying.
being acknowledged.
Yes, because people are different, and because I don't get my LGBTQ representation, because that's what I am in my show. I don't feel I'm getting my escapism right.
Yeah, he's saying he's not getting his escapism because he's not seeing a narcissistic reflection of himself.
Yeah, he doesn't have the little black boy who's awesome
Well,
and
that's
everything,
stupid.
and
It's
says
kids.
nigga all the
I
time.
mean,
He doesn't get that. He doesn't get that cartoon where the swearing little black boy is, you know.
Like, dude, this is Thundercats. You didn't like what was his name? Pantheron? The big burly scientist guy who was building all the awesome gadgets.
I don't remember.
Like so you can, because they are all about this race coding and bullshit like that. Pantheron would be the stand-in for the black guy because he's dark. He has dark blue fur. He is big. He has muscles, and he's the brain of the whole thing. It's a bit like a Beast from the X-Men. He builds all the gadgets, and he's amazing. I loved him. He was my favorite character in the show.
You got to think about the stereotypes. That's not.
What do you want? Okay, what black representation do you want in Thundercats if Pantheron isn't enough for you?
He had that fire and ice nunchaku. I thought that was kind of cool.
What?
The guy, the Thundercats guy. He had.
Look,
Don't you remember?
I don't know.
You don't remember? Yeah, the nunchucks.
Panthro.
It's been a while since I haven't watched it.
You don't remember that? Okay, never mind. It's not important. Tyler Preston, I want you to know that Red from OSP has a Tropes Talk video regarding kaijus. She believes that the monster films like Godzilla have political messages. Well, technically, yeah. And she believes that the original...
It's somewhat, yes, it does have like about nature.
But but I'm pretty sure. Okay, sorry.
The monsters are the kaiju originally were stand-ins for natural disaster that you cannot, that as a human you are just helpless against.
Exactly. That the original King Kong is a metaphor of a black man kidnapping a white woman.
Yep, that's where I thought she was gonna go. Oh boy.
I really thought like King Kong was just a reference to Mario. I mean Donkey Kong.
Question.
Yeah, I thought it was just a gorilla.
Yeah, I have a question. Was King Kong a Japanese invention or was that an American invention?
I don't remember.
It was Japanese, right?
I don't remember.
Well, King Kong is American, so I think that explains.
Yeah, does he then count as a kaiju?
No.
Yes.
I mean, I know they throw him together nowadays, but
in Japanese terms, no. But literally, yes.
Japanese always rip off like Western culture and they make it more awesome.
They do their own thing.
That's literally like how it goes.
It's whiskey, cars, technology, everything. Yeah, they make it better. It's true. But I don't think we could say King Kong's a kaiju. I think that's its own story.
Kaijus have to speak Japanese. You're right.
God, I just want the Japanese to make their own version of Breaking Bad. That would be great.
Ooh, they probably already have. We just don't know it yet.
Yeah, it's called Naruto.
Sasuke, it's time to cook. Okay.
I want Japanese Batman.
Only after I kill my brother. Oh, okay, fine.
I want Japanese Batman.
They did
I
that.
don't know, Naruto.
Yeah, it's called Detective Conan.
Oh God. All right.
There really is at all. And a good amount of people are feeling uncomfortable that new media understands that. And one, not only tries to include everyone and talk about everything that kids need to hear, but two, that media is an ever-changing art form that doesn't just stop where you want it to. Regardless of what I want, regardless of what anyone else wants, regardless of anything, it will continue to change and reflect the world around it. And
then why does it need PSAs? Why does it need your bullshit?
Yeah.
If it's reflecting the world around it, why is it teaching kids things that are not the real world?
That means tomorrow's cartoon completely changed the previous PSA from today's cartoon.
And yeah, I don't know.
But think about it. Are we ever going to have kids who we have to teach about drugs? I think we're still going to have to teach kids about drugs and just life in general.
Yeah.
So we're going to have stories about that. We're going to have stories about avoiding strangers.
Yeah, that's never going to stop.
Yeah, exactly. So what would change in cartoons as an art form that you don't have to have lessons about, don't do these things. Don't eat those things. Don't tease those people.
I don't know. I guess just the identity politics of, right?
There's always going to be a world of childhood which exists independent of adulthood. The two have to come together at some transitioning because that's what growing up is all about. So you're going to have this understanding that kids exist in their own little world and the world around them exists in their own. And every year of a kid's life is different. From 1 to 2 to 3. There's stages, there's things you wear, there's things you do and talk and walk and say and can't say. It's all phases. And it's a very complicated process. And some kids aren't aware of it. Some kids miss some of it because they grew up really quickly. They were forced to. Yes. And giving them this other crap that has virtually very little place in society. I can't think of one place where I would ever use the need for diversity hires or whatever half the shit they talk about. I don't even know, honestly. There's too much crap for me to remember from these people.
Diversity hires are just tokens.
Yeah, but even then, it's like in Canada we have that, so we're influenced by that. So I'm aware of this, and because we have the census and other crap. But other than that, there's really nothing else aside from they want to change the way you think, and not for the better, but for their own reasons, which I don't know what those are.
And if I'd hear, and I know parents to whom that happened, and I'm very happy about those who stood up against it. If I'd ever get to know that someone's putting political bullshit into the head of my kid, trying to indoctrinate my kid, especially telling my kid that my kid is bad or should be ashamed because of his or her skin color, I would be very stern with that person.
Yeah, fuck them.
And that's me being polite about that. Because you are abusing my child. You're telling my child that it's bad because of how it was born. And that is child abuse, and I don't take kindly to child abusers. And whether we see each other in court or in some other way, I don't give a shit about. You do not abuse my child. Not with your psycho bullshit.
All right.
With your ideological terror. You're no different than a Christian telling a child, you have original sin, therefore you are bad and you need to atone all the time. Also suck my dick.
Thank you.
You're no different. You're no different than that preacher.
All right, let's go.
You can't really do shit about it. I know that bit got serious, but bitching on Twitter about the CalArts style ain't gonna do shit. Sure, you can do mental gymnastics to justify why today's media is crazy, but no, it's just as valuable as the
doing
media
mental
you grew up with,
gymnastics.
and it's just as valuable as the
And
media before
justifying that
that.
it's not crazy.
I don't think he's doing mental gymnastics. I think he's just spouting crap, and he's not thinking.
No,
about
he's
it.
bitching too.
Is he just is he at the stage of doublethink, or does he just?
Didn't
not
he
care what
earlier
he's
say,
saying?
I hate when people complain. You're doing the same thing.
I don't think he's actually thinking. Honestly, these
He's just random. It's just
No, he's
emotional
not.
happening.
He's a moron.
I agree with that, definitely.
There's no consistency in his video or his argument. He didn't even talk about like what is anti-racism and how that's good to teach kids.
Yeah, he simply operates on the premise that anti-racism is good, and somehow non-racism exists somewhere, but it's somehow the same although it's not. And he's not making any sense.
This guy doesn't understand how kids work.
All right. Anyway.
Just judging from this video, this guy doesn't understand how anything works, including the ideology he's spouting. Or he knows how it works and tries to hide the truth about it, just puts forward these words good, anyone who criticizes it bad.
Yeah, they're old white people that need to die or something.
Yeah, and a friend of mine went down the rabbit hole lately, completely, and thinks that it's only right wingers who get in a jiffy because of cornflakes. Haha, how silly, how hateful these people are. Like, and she was against SJW extremism. Now she's completely buying into it, not even noticing that it's not the cornflakes that are the problem. It's that on the package they put this ideological bullshit about trans, about fake pronouns, about bullshit pronouns, and even spots of make your own up, make up your own pronouns. They put that on Kellogg's cornflakes. Yeah, I have a problem with that. I'm not right wing, but my friend went so far off the deep end that she now thinks that even a moderate position must be right wing extremism. And must come from a position of hate. She doesn't even notice how hateful she is at this point. It's over the years I've lost a couple people to this madness, and they turned into the exact thing that they always said they oppose.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
I've lost friends too.
1 minute left. We're good. Let's go.
We're almost there.
As long as it wasn't like racist. There's a lot of that. But the point is, overgeneralizations ain't ever helped nobody, nigga. And that goes for all sides.
Thanks, nigga. Just want to make sure we're on the level, nigga. Okay.
Yeah, you did the same thing.
And why are you fine with telling people that because with your anti-racism stuff that it is okay to denigrate certain people because of their skin color?
Hey nigga, stop being racist.
How can you be against generalization and denigrating people based on skin color? Like, dude, either you're an idiot or you're lying.
Well, considering his language, I don't think he gives a crap at anything, really. He just doesn't care.
No, it's just this ghetto talk. It's so hip, it's so now, it's so wow.
Yeah, I love it when someone preaching to me about racism is using these words like it's normal. Let's be mature adults, guys. Yeah. Let's watch some cartoons that are going to give us great lessons while telling everyone he dislikes a nigga, as well as ourselves. It's like, what are you doing? Oh, he's using the nice way. He's using the colloquial, friendly way of referring to that guy. Oh, yeah? Really? Yeah? He can use it, but I can't?
It's like...
You can talk like a moron too, Smud Boy. I guess I could. So why am I listening to this fellow?
It's like I knew black older men that, shuddered at the word. They don't even like when black people use it. It's
not a good term because of its history, and I understand the stigma behind it. It's understandable, but if he's going to use it this many times, as if it's his shield, I'm a black guy, I can use it. It's like, great, I could not take you seriously then. Learn to speak.
Yeah,
So I know about
either
all kinds
don't
of
use the
racism.
word or use it. It's not conditioned to anybody. Okay, it's the context on how you use that word. I'm so done with these people that just play these. Oh well, we gotta think about the race, man, huh?
It's very funny that he's super sensitive about these SJW terms, but has no problems with his own language. Like he's super sensitive about cartoons using PSAs, which is like, okay, that's very specific, but he's just using this term like it's nothing.
I know all these ideologies clashing on one another. It's ridiculous. It's convoluted. I can't figure out where the consistency comes in. Like what?
I just can't take this guy seriously. There's something with his tone.
He's a clown.
His language, his speed. There's something off.
No, he's a clown. Oh boy, this.
Anyway, let's just keep. We're almost done.
He's
So just...
a clown, not a funny clown.
Yeah, well.
No, not at all.
Vosh is funny
Sad
because he's insane, but this guy is just
Wouldn't
he's
call
drunk
that
the Kool-Aid and
funny.
he's just going with it. Like, dude.
I wouldn't call Vosh funny. I would say he's a lol cow. That's not necessarily funny.
Oh, I find him funny.
He's insane.
He is amazing.
Definitely.
I don't know who's worse though. That's the problem.
Oh, Vosh is worse.
I mean, does this guy like horsecock?
I don't know.
At least then I can
answer
at least give a point to Joe because he doesn't like horsecock.
Let me think sexually. No. Okay, probably not. Anyway, let's keep going.
Just because you don't like how something looks, that doesn't mean it's the death of animation or the.
Yeah, that looks pretty bad. What the hell am I looking at?
I'm short of having a seizure from looking at
The
this.
color,
It's way too bright.
the contrast.
Close your eyes, Wisp.
Whatever the hell that's supposed to like. What I've seen buff chicks.
I don't know.
I'm glad this is
manga,
a still image.
but this is ridiculous. It looks
artistic, right?
It looks like something from what is it? The Bronies created a retarded version of Powerpuff Girls. I don't know. It's just I can't characterize it. It's so
No, the My Little Pony series that they made at least had good this friendship stuff right.
yeah. That's what it comes down to. A lot of
they,
these stories
all the
are about-
characters had flaws that they had to overcome. They grew a little, not very much because it's a kids' cartoon, but they grew a little over time.
That's it. Even She-Ra does that.
They even this is the amazing thing about this about the My Little Pony show. There was an episode that essentially showed that equity is bad.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because there was a little village out in somewhere out in the desert, and not Trixie, the other magic pony. She stole or magically overrode the cutie marks of all the ponies in the village and replaced them with equal signs. Because in her mind, all the strife between all the problems between ponies came because of their individuality and their individual skills.
Great.
So she removed that, and all the ponies were just dreary and depressed, and it was just horrible because they had to suppress their real personality.
Awesome.
And the conclusion of this, I think it was even a double episode, was that the ponies got their cutie marks back, which is, since this is all magic, that brought back their personality and their livelihood. They rediscovered what they're actually good at, because that's the reflection of the symbols that they have on their flanks, which are reflections of brandings of real horses. Yeah, and then everybody was happy again because, hey, individualism, yay! I do the thing I'm actually interested in and I like, and it's different from the thing that you like, and that's okay because when everybody does what he's best at, then we form a society that does awesome stuff because everybody contributes in a different way. Unlike communism, where everybody is the same. Everything is a grey blob.
It's kind of
Humans
like
are not insects.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good.
Times you
Starlight
can remember
Glimmer,
best
thank
were
you.
better. And just because what's being talked about isn't something you like as much, doesn't mean that it's bad. You just gotta learn that some stuff either wasn't made for you, or some stuff you simply need to hear. And good media will always still exist. Unless it is both new and actually bad on so many describable levels, but if not...
So I don't know what that just was.
Yeah.
But dude, the thing you said just now, why doesn't this count for the pre-SJW era? Because apparently that stuff wasn't made for you, and it had good messages that apparently you didn't like and didn't want to hear, but that are actually good. Like, don't judge people on the based on the color of their skin, but instead their character and their actions.
Yeah, it's this thing of like,
That's the message
this
you
is
don't
made for
want to hear.
kids, then why are you even talking about it,
Yeah,
dumbass? This guy is such an idiot.
and he's a hypocrite. He's a huge hypocrite.
No self-awareness.
I don't think he needs any to put on this whatever it is. I'm not even sure this is a grift. It's just babble.
I wonder if this guy has any friends. That's
not in real life. He probably makes enough money from YouTube, but I can't imagine him having actual friends. Not if he's the same not if he's the same in real life.
Like, geez, imagine kids just coming together, just watching a piece of media. And maybe some kids are not into that. And they rather just draw or something. Holy shit, this guy.
Yeah, I can't imagine these characters being fun to draw.
No?
No.
Anyway,
I don't know.
Let's go.
Stay mad, somebody will taste your tears. The little gay space rocks during the PSA shouldn't piss you off.
Gay space rocks?
That's it?
Okay.
That's the video?
What the hell? Okay, what is that?
Why do you have to put homosexuality into a kids show? Because, and this is the problem. The problem is not that that is not implying that homosexuality bad. No, the problem is that if you put homosexuality into a kids show, that means especially single-digit age. If you put homosexuality in there, that means you are putting sexuality in there. That means you put sexualization in there. You put sexual topics into something that is for children who have not even developed a sexual understanding.
Mm-hmm.
And that is evil.
And you wouldn't want, straight people kissing either, right? Like any sort of, sexual innuendo be put into the cartoon, right?
So, does anyone know what's wrong with teaching kids to be anti-racist? I don't think he ever answered the question.
I still don't know.
No, he didn't. We didn't define what anti-racism is. We didn't define how that can be a benefit. Why
it was just a rant that he didn't like people disagreeing with him, and completely twisted reality and the issue in order to justify that.
Just a clickbait title that doesn't at all get addressed in the video.
Yep. We've seen this so often from the SJWs. I've not watched Christian bullshit takes in I think 10 years, at least 5 years. Let's say 5 years. I don't even remember whether they were doing it. They were dodging a lot and putting up a lot of straw man and circular logic and all of that. But I probably did this too at some point, but I don't remember it being so prevalent to put up a title and then not talk about the actual point of the title. I don't remember that, right? At least not.
Could you imagine a cooking video like that? Here's how to correctly cook your steak, and you start talking about like what you should do with your eggs or some shit.
Yeah.
Start ranting about why steak is like the worst meat out there.
Yeah, or he just talks about the oven.
Yeah.
Anyway,
here's the. Sorry.
Let's do some stream memes, guys.
Ooh, stream memes.
Oh,
yes.
Cool.
Alrighty.
Before we go into it, I just wanna say that I'm sorry that I noticed it at some point that I'm talking way more over people than usual, which I already tried not to too much, but sometimes it's like you can't get a word in because everybody keeps talking, and it's a bad habit. I'm trying to get rid of it. But today I wasn't just drinking caffeine. I tried out an energy drink, and I think that made things worse. So I'll go back to regular
sugar
caffeine.
and caffeine. Oh, great idea. All right.
No, the sugar isn't the problem.
Okay, here we go. This is from Bearserker. E3 2021's list of banned words repeatedly included Canada and Toe Jam. Canada? You can't say Canada at E3 2020's chat?
I'm so sorry, Spud, that we offended you.
Right.
Is it because...
Can you forgive us?
Is it because they came out with Mass Effect Legendary Edition? Is that why Canada doesn't want to be brought up? Is this came from Canada? I don't know.
I guess. I don't know.
Is Canada a racist term? Oh my god. Okay. Recent revelations.
Does that mean you have to change the name of the country, I guess?
That the term Canadian is being used to replace racist names for black people have got a Texas assist district attorney into trouble and have left others wondering what exactly it means to be labeled a Canadian in the American South. Wow, funny stuff.
What?
Okay.
Oh
Let's not go there.
We're in Clown World.
Does your dog bite? No, but it can hurt you in other ways. And then we have the Canadian bears, or the bears saying Canadian.
Bears saying Canadian.
Oh my god!
Oh, the pain!
All the honey and maple syrup you can eat.
I know.
Yeah. Despite being only 13% of the population, Canadians commit 50% of all hockey fights.
Ligma balls. Okay.
What's ligma?
Is it alls balls or is it just bee alls? I don't know. It's a blackened bee.
Y'all.
I feel like it could be a W, but who knows?
You going to SawCon?
SockCon? Did you say SockCon?
Yeah, SawCon.
SockCon. It sounds like a convention.
SawCon these nuts, huh?
Oh, I thought you meant like a sock or sort of a convention where people go to buy socks or check out legwear. I don't know. Anyway, I don't care about the race of the character. Teach me how to read. Ah.
Yeah, thank you.
That's a pretty angry baby there.
Yeah, teach me how to read.
You won't get any P's until you start learning about what it is to be racist.
Veridis Joe make everything gay? No.
Oh, that's him?
Joe, that's creepy.
I have to assume it's a joke, but I don't know.
I hope so. But that's creepy.
They often say things say things they mean, and then later on say, if you press them on it, that this was a joke. I meant this ironically. Well.
I don't care.
When they say kill all white people, and you ask them what the fuck, and they say, it's clearly a joke.
This is great. I don't know if this actually happens in the cartoon, but I don't care either. It doesn't bother me.
I hope it does.
It's like a Mark rant. It's like, I don't care. Yeah, doesn't bother me.
What the fuck?
Hiya, kids. Did you know that despite making up only 13% of the population, green dinosaurs commit 50% of all violent crime? Hiya, kids. The old pal Barney says we must secure the existence of our people and a future for purple dinosaurs. Oh, Jesus. Oh, no. Barney, what'd you do? Oh, Bint, you are teaching anti-racism. You ignored slavery. Is that what she says in her PSA? I can't remember. I don't really care about it.
I don't know, and I don't care.
It's one of those. Yeah. Average anti-racism fan. Average racism enjoyer. You see, guys, be proud of your race. There's nothing wrong with being proud of your race. Nothing. You come from a certain group of people who love the land and grew it, and you have wonderful cuisine and women and music. Embrace it.
Like Ice Cube said, embrace your stereotypes.
Whatever it is.
Do it.
Whatever you got, it's part of you. Gotta appreciate it.
Yeah, and there's positive stereotypes and negative stereotypes about Germans, and some are really funny.
Well, there's some good stuff I appreciate from Germany. It's the food and drink, so can't go wrong there. Y'all niggas tripping there. That's pretty much it.
Yeah. So how many
What?
Germans is it? What?
Bro, what are
How
you talking
many-
about?
How do you do, fellow niggas? Maybe not him. Maybe the people who make the cartoons. Maybe not him. Yeah. Nick Shapiro, but it's great. Love it. Good stuff.
Yeah.
He still looks like a Chad. I'm honestly
It's great.
surprised.
PSAs. But you didn't do anything. PSAs. My work here is done. I hated those Sailor Moon. They were so dumb. Especially when you just saw the episode and they just reuse the same footage. It's really annoying.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh. What's that? That's JoJo's, right?
Yeah.
That's great.
Oh, Ben, are you approaching me?
Tiny hat.
So angry, so full of hate.
If you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, then you ain't black. Oh.
Ah, yes, the famous Joe Biden quote.
Can't go wrong with Joe.
Big boy Joe.
All these wonderful Red Sonic YouTube things I'm not going to watch for obvious reasons.
Oh, Mike Testa.
Oh no! Oh, this is great.
Mike Testa, I love your avatar on Discord.
I have it.
That's great.
I have it up.
That's awesome.
Oh boy!
It would always end up like that.
Yeah, man.
Who's that guy's name?
More Mike Testa. More Mike. Mike, holy jeez. Red Sonic.
Mike
Canadian.
Testa's
Oh, sorry. Colorado professor claims that white supremacy is causing black people to attack Asians.
Yeah, this was stupid. And yes, that meme is funny. Oh my god. Stop it. It's your fault.
That is. I never saw this. I should read that article. It's amazing. Stop it.
Yep. I didn't do anything.
Gary. A Torok. I can't even pronounce that. Negro, yes. There's
Yes.
Hola, ¿cómo estás, negro?
There are plenty of fantastic.
Actually, it's named after an Italian candy maker.
Yeah,
because he came up with the recipe.
There's wines called Negro Amaro, I think.
Yes,
Amarone?
well, it's referring to the color black. Yes.
Yeah, obviously that's the name for color.
Like many people think oh, it's the race.
No, it's an
I
actual
know
word.
it's so weird. You can't say that anymore now.
Yeah, well, Italians can, so it's pretty much.
And yeah, I went to Mexico, and it's like they call darker fellows, Negro.
Yeah.
But
You know why
they
Nigeria
interpret it as a what?
You know why Nigeria is called Nigeria?
Why?
Because there's a river going through it.
That's right.
It's
the River Niger.
Yes. Well, in German we pronounce it a bit differently, but it's also called the Black River.
Yep.
For the same reason, because it means black. For fuck's sake.
May the Schwarz be with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hawk.
Fantastic. Love it. You're in hell. You're in colorful hell, that's for sure. Yeah. Go, daddy.
Go,
issues.
Go, daddy issues.
1 hour prior to Smudcast, N-word pass. I was reading my Samuel Clemens, and then I thought to myself, why don't I just say everything? Hawk, listening to Smudcast 301.
Aw.
No.
I got TB.
Is everything a reference to Red Dead with Hawk? Is that how it goes?
Yes.
That's his
why not?
character.
That's
Yes.
his thing? All right. Let me
Hawk
speak to your
is
children.
Arthur Morgan.
Oh, my God.
Oh, what the heck?
Yeah, let's not
Oh,
do that.
God. It gets worse.
Let me touch your children. Oh, Jesus. When Hawk starts posting stream memes, you don't do that here.
Yeah, what's up with you, Hawk? You're sick, but you couldn't come on?
His only outlet to express himself today.
Make memes.
All right. That was fun.
Awesome.
Whew. All right, guys.
That was a journey, huh?
That was fun. Little crazy, little racist, little racy.
Yeah, I
This guy
apologize.
talks too
Even though I'm
fast,
not white.
Too much nonsense.
Yeah, gotta have fun with this crap, guys. But thank you so much for tuning in. That was another Veridis Joe guy. He was good. He was a good YouTuber. Video fast cuts, talks fast.
To finish that Smudcast that you did last.
He talks like a fur-buffing cat with attention deficit disorder.
Yeah, I know. He's an interesting fellow. But you know what? I talked to him anyway just to see if he actually thinks like that, because I don't think that was a well thought out idea. He just
Maybe he's a nice guy.
I'm sure he's a nice guy, but that was a lot of bullshit, and you just have to make fun of it. So
yeah, it's like, bro, come on. We're talking about kids.
Steven Universe, really? It's gonna help us learn about the patriarchy or whatever bullshit. Like, no, dude, it's cartoon.
Well, the gayer the better.
The gayer the better. Yeah.
The gayer the better. Yeah, Super Mario gay.
Oh God.
Let's do it.
All right. Well, thank you for the suggestion, whoever it was. Don't even know, but glad we got it. We'll be doing checks on who's going to be on the Smudcast before the day starts, because I don't like screwing up our Smudcast. Sometimes we don't have them because we're not organized. Hopefully we've learned our lesson, and we can get full teams in for whatever reason next time. But thanks for the suggestions. Keep them coming. Leave them in the suggestions section, and a moderator will get around to voting on it for everyone. And if you want to see it, make sure you vote. That's always a great idea too. And thanks again. Enjoy the weather. Enjoy your evening, your morning, whatever you're doing. Go to bed, have a snack, get a drink, take a nap, do your thing, feel good about life, and try not to remember.
Importantly, be anti-racist.
Be anti-racist.
That's a PSA message.
No. You know what? In order to regain your sanity, watch Egypt Kami. It even has Medjet in it.
Yeah, Egypt Kami's cool. That looked like a great looking animation. Just from the two stills I saw, I thought that looks like fun. I'd watch that.
Can sell like a show much better than Steven Universe. Oh God.
On cuteness and 3 colors, amazing.
Yeah. Very cute. I love it.
White, black, and gold. Fantastic. Good idea. Anyway, have a great night. Take it easy. Talk to you tomorrow. Bye-bye now.
Bye.